Here for joining in, for adding your support. My name is Brendon, aka Mystic Spider-Man, welcoming you to a very special broadcast that we are doing here tonight through Paradigm Shift Central. Tonight's broadcast is going to be all about getting started on TikTok as a conscious media creator. So for those of you who are here live in the chat, go ahead, drop those 1111s in the comment just to make sure that you guys can hear me okay, and allow me to just be able to do a couple things real quick, and we will get started on this broadcast. And I'll go over what to be able to expect, what to be able to learn from this broadcast. And those of you tune in on YouTube, those of you listening live in the, off of our iTunes page, wherever you happen to be joined into the podcast, thank you again so much, everyone, for being here, for being a part of the community, and for adding your support in all the forms that you. So again, at this point, we're just getting things ready to go on all platforms, and I just have to double check. And sweet, okay, we're good. All right, okay, thank you again, everyone. So tonight's broadcast, this is going to be a little bit different. So again, getting right into the topic of tonight's broadcast is all about getting started on TikTok as a content creator. So for those of you who are here, if you haven't really had a chance to maybe become more familiar with my content, again, my name is Brendon. I also go on different social media platforms by various names, such as Spider-Man on Instagram and TikTok, and Skull Babylon on YouTube, and also Wolf Shield is like another name. So my experience in being able to create conscious media goes back over 10 years, and that was the start of, again, me just kind of answering this question of how to be able to help use my skills to be able to help make a difference. Being able to be aware of the idea that there is this awakening that is happening, this shift in consciousness that is taking place. And rather than just kind of, like sitting by and twiddling my thumbs, I wanted to be able to actively use my skills as a media content producer to be able to help plant seeds, to inspire people, and also to be able to build a team, to be able to find others who are equally passionate about this, and to be able to bring people together. So if you may be new to my content, again, I've been creating content for over 10 years. We've been doing team broadcasts going back to like 2011. We've done probably over 500 team broadcasts in a variety of sorts. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about is being able to, again, help teach others, help instruct others, help give people some insights, some instructions, some education, some ideas on how to be able to utilize these various social media platforms to be able to, again, plant these conscious seeds. And so painting the bigger picture of what is going on here, because this broadcast may be a little bit different from some of your other broadcasts that you've maybe tuned into before. Again, when we're talking about the shift in consciousness, what exactly is that referring to? So for those of you who may be brand new to this, the shift in consciousness is basically this idea of beginning to understand that there is more to this reality than I, and that we are these spiritual beings having this human experience. Something that you've probably heard before in various different ways. And through this process of awakening to this idea that we are more than, the powers of our thoughts to manifest things into our reality, to be able to connect with the wisdom of our heart, to be able to open ourselves up to further inspiration and intuition, and to be able to show up with courage and compassion for those in our community, and to be able to help make a difference in the world. So that's where, with this project, what we've been doing is we've been building this team, and this team is a global known as a global team of shifters. Sorry, one second here. I'm just gonna hold on. Thank you for letting me know if my voice okay there. Let me know if that fixed the audio thing. Thank you for letting me know in the chat, because I think I just had the wrong switch toggled. If that fixed the audio thing, let me know. If you're just like, it's good, then drop a 333 if the audio is good. So again, just continuing off with where I was going, basically, and then we'll get right into, again, talking about why TikTok? Why am I fascinated with TikTok? Why do I want to be able to help invite more people to TikTok? So again, what we've been doing is we've been building this team of shifters, people who are actively helping assist with the shift in consciousness through acts of creativity and compassion. people who are working on themselves, who are exploring these other aspects of this reality within their meditation, within their dream spaces, again, just like through their art and through their creativity. So thank you. Okay, glad that fixed the audio. Thanks. You guys are like my tech crew in this. So if anything ever goes glitchy, you guys are going to be the first ones to know. So please do not hesitate to let me know. And I'm glad we figured that out right away. So building this team has been a big part of my passion over the years, and we've been exploring this on a variety of different platforms. We've been doing broadcasts, again, like off of like way back in Blog Talk Radio land. We were doing this through YouTube, and we've moved into Instagram, and now with TikTok being something that is still fresh, it has really caught my attention. And so what we're going to do within this broadcast, I'm going to talk a little bit about what my own experience has been with TikTok, why I'm doing this broadcast in terms of being able to help. Hopefully the intention behind this is to invite more people to be able to add their presence onto TikTok so that collectively we as a team can continue to make more conscious, inspirational waves within this social media network. Because even though TikTok may be still fairly new, like it hasn't been around for too long compared to Facebook and Instagram and things like that, there definitely is this rising of these conscious themes, of these spiritually awakened hashtags, of these people who are out there literally just sharing their wisdom and sharing and teaching people how to be able to like level themselves up within this shared dream reality. So again, within this broadcast, what I'm going to be able to do, as bear with me, right? Because I've got like a bunch of notes, and part of this is just going to be like hitting across a few points, and I haven't practiced this ahead of time. So again, this is all just practice for me too. But what we're going to do within this broadcast, I'm going to help you get into more of the mindset behind getting started on TikTok. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why TikTok is different from other social media platforms. I'm going to be talking to you about how to be able to set up your account. I'm going to be talking to you about how to get started with like your first like initial videos, how to be able to find more followers. I'm going to talk to you about even like additional ways of like when's the best time to post, additional editing apps that you can use, how to be able to source inspiration, and how to be able to just like build connection and authentic relationship through the utilization of this platform. So again, with the intention of this broadcast, I've been creating conscious media for a long time. You know, I've got like a little badge somewhere that says like, you know, like X number of people have seen my videos across the world, and I've made people smile, and I've made people cry, and I've inspired people to take action and do free hugs, and etc, etc, etc. And that's all been awesome. And so within my experience of utilizing social media, I've got about 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now, YouTube was an interesting platform because like back in the day it was kind of the only thing, but what happens over time is that like as social media platforms kind of change, the algorithms change, their viability sort of shifts. And honestly, with YouTube from what I would hope for, meaning that because I've only got 10,000 subscribers, and for some reason that number has just kind of like locked, like it's weird. If you look at my thing, like I've barely gone up any subscribers in the past like X number of months, which is really weird because like, I don't know, it's like as if there's like some sort of lock on my account. But you know, I'll create new content there, and thank you for the people who are subscribed, who are tuned in. You guys will see that content. But at the same time, for me to try and like reach new people through YouTube, that can be very challenging unless I just like happen to kind of like find a video that just somehow goes viral. The thing with the challenge with YouTube, and the reason why I'm saying this up, because eventually this is leading to the idea of like why TikTok, is because these other platforms, they have their limitations. And so with YouTube, if you're just trying to utilize YouTube, how are you getting your video out there? Like, oh, are you sharing it through Facebook? And if you are, Facebook and YouTube do not get along. So if you're sharing a Facebook video in YouTube, it usually just like completely just like crushes the reach on it. So because YouTube wants you to natively upload videos onto its own platform, and then that kind of defeats the purpose. Or you're like trying to use Reddit, and again, there's the odd chance where you might get something there, or you're trying to like redirect people from your other social media platforms like your Twitter and your Instagram over to YouTube, and again, that can be kind of strenuous. So YouTube still exists. I'm grateful it exists. YouTube has its own purpose. It's great for creating live broadcasts such as this. And then we have Facebook. Facebook at this point, Facebook is again basically like a secondary platform. I still use it because I'm still connected with a lot of people on it, but it's not the primary place where I engage with people. Facebook is a great place to go where you can have discussions and ongoing information and everything like that. But in terms of new content creation, it's not really, again, the best place to be able to reach people because you're trying to share into so many different groups and the attention is so spread out. And the other thing, again, and I'll explain this because there's a common theme between YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram that is an issue that I have with it that is not an issue on TikTok. So Facebook is, again, like it has its purpose. It's great for building like community and groups and putting up posts and sharing your thoughts, and that's really cool too. Instagram has been, again, a whole nother journey, and I'm grateful for the amount of time that I put into Instagram over the years. Again, with Instagram though, Instagram has its limitations in terms of just, again, kind of like short videos or IGTV videos, and then you have to put them in vertical format. And then even with Instagram, the thing that's hard there is that, you know, it's hard to kind of reach new people. It's hard to kind of really be able to utilize the hashtags. There are tips and tricks, and there are other people who probably know more about it than me who would probably be able to give you even better advice. But from my own experience on Instagram, my account, like I reached about like 15,000 over a year ago, and then from there it's like it hasn't really gone up. Like there's still, like, I'm blessed by the fact that there's still new people. All of these platforms, that is quite different, and this is where we're leading up to, like, why TikTok? Because if you've tried a lot of these before, like me, the issue with a lot of these platforms is that once you create something, it's up to you to basically be able to curate it. Meaning it's up to you to manually share it. It's up to you. If you upload a new video on YouTube, you have to be the one that kind of sends it out into a Reddit post, or you have to be the one that manually messages people, or you have to be the one that posts it on Facebook and then it doesn't even get seen anyways. And then even with Instagram, you post a thing on Instagram, and within those first 24 hours, give or take, there's gonna be, if there's like enough engagement with it, then it kind of randomly shows up within people's feeds. And even still, people's feeds, it's like, how do those even work? Like, we don't really fully know. Like, it's not chronological, so there's a bit of a mystery there. But the problem is that once a post is kind of like expanded beyond its initial 24 hours since it was originally published, it doesn't really have a likely chance of reaching new people, meaning that it will just kind of get pushed down in your archive. So that's where, like, again, with Instagram, it's really cool. And with Instagram and YouTube, they're really cool because they're great for building archives. So if you were to just want to send someone and be like, hey, take a look at all the things that I've done, and they can just kind of access it and breeze through it. And if they're really engaged with their content, then it's a place for them to be able to go. You can go on my Instagram page. It's really cool to scroll through my Instagram page. And you can literally see like my life kind of mapped out in this timeline and all the new content that's being created. And that's really cool. However, when it comes to content that I made like a month ago, as far as Instagram is concerned, that doesn't even exist. Unless someone's looking for it manually, it doesn't even exist. And so this is where we start getting into TikTok. Why is TikTok different? Why are so many people talking about TikTok? And why do I personally really enjoy creating content for TikTok? With TikTok, what makes it quite different, and again, this is where like I want to be able to like invite more people to be a part of it, is that with TikTok has a different style of algorithm. And basically with TikTok, the way how it works is that through the utilization of like hashtags and themes, TikTok will automatically deliver your content to new people who are also engaging with similar content. So say, for example, I'm looking up content related to light workers, related to hashtag spiritual awakening. And that's what I've kind of been looking at, and I've been watching videos from people like that. And then somebody else makes a new video using that hashtag. TikTok will know that this might be a video that I'm interested in, and it will send it into my main feed. And on TikTok, the feed for this is called the For You page. Now, once we get a little bit later into the broadcast, I'm actually going to like pull up a screen on screen. So we're going to be browsing TikTok together, and I'm going to kind of give you a tour through it. So what makes TikTok quite different is that TikTok basically will work with you in helping deliver your content to new people. And this can even happen for content after it has initially like been published. So what can happen is that a post that you put up even like weeks ago, TikTok may kind of like give it a nice push, and then if a certain amount of people engage with it, then it will move it into the next bracket or the next tier, and then it will reach more people. And this is where you hear about things with people going on TikTok where they might create a video and it might get like a few thousand views, and then it kind of goes flat, like it doesn't get any more engagement, and then like 2 weeks later suddenly TikTok is like, actually, you know what, like let's send this out again, and then suddenly it ends up getting seen by like 20,000 people or 1,000,000 people. And so the way how TikTok works is that it really entices people to create engaging quality content that is going to build like a nice relationship with the people who are tuned in with it. And that for me is really inspiring as a creator, whereas like sometimes with Instagram, you know, as much as I put my heart and soul into every single post, with Instagram sometimes it's like, oh, like I might as like I have to put up a post, or else if I don't put up a post within a few days, then Instagram is going to kind of like block my reach, and then the next post that I put up, no one will see it. So with Instagram, it's really important that you keep like a heartbeat. But sometimes that demand where Instagram, again, it's kind of like this relationship where Instagram's like, it's like you better post, or else we're going to limit your reach. And then for you, that's like, it's like, man, like I'll post when I want to, like stop pressuring me. So it's almost as if like Instagram is in this very kind of like toxic relationship where if you don't post, it penalizes you by preventing your reach from reaching new people. And that's why with TikTok, with Instagram, it's important to be able to contain a consistent heartbeat, a momentum. Whereas with TikTok, the focus is more on the creation of the content and really celebrating the creation of the content, and even knowing that if you put your heart and soul into a good piece of content and it kind of like it's reciprocated within the community, then there is always the possibility that your video may reach more people even like weeks after you have initially created it. So the way how the algorithms work within TikTok is basically when you put up a post and you put in specific hashtags, TikTok is going to deliver it to a group of people that it thinks will be interested in your video. If a certain amount of people engage with your video through likes, comments, and shares, and even downloads within that certain time period, then TikTok will basically be like, okay, this video is doing good, let's move it into the next tier. And then when it does that, it moves into the 1,000 range. And then from there, it will continue to go through the same process. And if it continues to reach the same degree of engagement, and from there, again, you know, it just like brings more people into like following your content and more people onto the platform, then from there basically it is going to send it up into the next tier, and this is where it starts to reach even more people. And now from my understanding, basically the way how this happens is that as it gets into these higher tiers, eventually it gets to the point where some human will look at it and decide if it moves into the next tier. They'll just make sure if it kind of fits their quality standards, if it fits the term of agreements, make sure there's nothing like wrong with it and things like that. And then they manually move it into the next tier. And this is when content begins to go viral. So with my experience on TikTok, it's really been fun because it's really given me an opportunity to be able to like really focus on creating quality content and knowing that it will be like able to reach people. And so that's where like with TikTok, some of my content so far, if I'm like just looking at my profile here, and I'll pull up some on-screen stuff in a second, I've had over 25,000 likes. I currently have over 3,533 followers as we speak, and that number will literally change by the end of this broadcast. And my videos that are so far the most viral, the most popular, currently have almost 40,000 views, and another one with 34,000 views. And again, both of those were videos that I made weeks ago, and yet each day TikTok is continuing to deliver them to new people. So it's bringing more people back to my content, back to my page, and again, ultimately inviting them to the story and the inspiration that we are sharing here and that we are cultivating, and the community that we are building as a team. So that's a little bit about, again, like what TikTok is. And so just kind of going over the bases, because again, for those of you who may be entirely new, Like TikTok really focuses on short content, less than 1 minute, and it is all just video. It is just video. It is very music oriented, very kind of like trends and styles and hashtags, and certain songs are an important part of the community, and we'll talk more about like how to be able to utilize those within your creation process to help it kind of like catch a wave within like certain trends so that it can reach more people. So that's a little bit about like what TikTok is. Now, before we get into and again, why it's different from other platforms. It's different because again, it curates your content way better than any other content, any other platform. It's very much about like celebrating the creative process. Like, yeah, there's certain niches and everything like that. There's a lot of people on it who are kind of like working on spiritual content. That niche is still small, but it is growing. It's a very cool place for people to authentically be able to practice communicating and to practice sharing and to practice delivering their wisdom. And so the other thing that we're going to get into is the why. The why is a very important part about getting started on TikTok. Before we do that, I do just want to be able to explain that even with TikTok, with any app, there's going to be like some concerns and everything like that. So before you jump onto TikTok, it would be negligent for me to not mention that, if you've probably heard, there are some concerns with the privacy issue related to TikTok. Now, if this is something you're interested in, you can literally just look up TikTok like privacy statement and things like that, and you can read this for yourself. A lot of people have kind of like said like, oh, you know, I'm not entirely comfortable with this idea that TikTok says that it like takes information from information outside of my app, and even like pays attention to websites that I might be browsing and things like that. I don't know all the details on like how and where that information is used. Again, like but at the same time, like this issue is not just a TikTok thing. It's literally with every app now. So again, like even Facebook, like Facebook will monitor your like website browsing so it can send you certain ads and stuff. I'm not exactly sure what TikTok does and doesn't monitor. But again, like all of this is literally something that if you're choosing to use the platform, you're choosing to acknowledge this and you're choosing to agree with it. And I know for some people, they're just like, yeah, you know, I'm not entirely comfortable with that. So if you're choosing not to use TikTok, I totally respect that. I understand it. As for myself, the way how I see it is that, you know, the issue with TikTok is really no different from any of the apps we kind of utilize today. If you're already using Facebook, if you're already using Instagram, like it's basically like kind of the exact same thing in terms of privacy statement and stuff like that. But be aware of that if that is something you wish to look into more. And yeah, and again, I think that's just an important part for using an app, just to be aware of how that app is, again, like being able to connect through your data. But the way I see it is that rather than just being like, oh, this app isn't, you know, like as perfect as I want it to be, for me, I'd rather just be like, hey, you know what, like it is what it is. And the way I see it, I'd rather use this app, play their game, and to utilize it to be able to make positive impact, to plant conscious seeds, and to be able to like create waves and build community. And, you know, if something happens with the privacy stuff, whatever, I'll cross that bridge when that's there. But again, just be aware of that before you decide to say that, yes, this app is for me. So that's a little bit about, again, just kind of like what TikTok is, how it's a little bit different. So in terms of getting started on TikTok, as a conscious creator, what I want to be able to invite you to think about is, what is your why? So when it comes to conscious media creation, asking what is your why is incredibly important. So when you jump on a new platform, in particular, if you're just about to get ready to start on TikTok, what is your why? Now, your why, like for some people, their why could be like, I want to be TikTok famous. And again, that's kind of what we're seeing with this platform, is that like the average person has the potential to become quote unquote TikTok famous because of the way the algorithms work, because of the way the community is built. So it gives people like an equal opportunity to be able to like make their mark within this social media presence, and to have the eyes of some people, you know, millions of people just looking at them. And for some people, that's a really big appeal, you know? So for some people, they might just be like, I want to be TikTok famous. And that's where you kind of get people, they're just like, I'm going to make like funny videos and dance and do whatever it takes sort of thing. And that's totally cool. But as a conscious creator, we want to be able to really ask the question of, what is our why? And your why should be, what do you want people to get out of your content? What do you hope to be able to provide to them? So for me, part of my why is being able to help people, to assist people on their own awakening journey, to be able to be a mirror for people to be able to see more of themselves, for them to be to open up into new ideas, and even to provide like practical tools that can actually like help assist them on their journey. And this is where we're going to get a little bit into, I'll show you some of the examples of the content that I've been creating to give you some ideas of what type of content you can create as well. And this is where, again, two of my most popular videos right now are literally like the one where it's like the 1 minute chakra practice that I did with some cool graphics. And that video is like, it's really cool to think about the idea that over 40,000 people have seen that video. And that video is basically giving people instructions on an ancient esoteric chakra meditation practice. Like, how cool is that? That I was able to kind of crystallize this information into a 1 minute package, make it appealing, deliver it, and now it's continuing to ripple. And that video will continue to be seen. Like, that video is going to keep getting seen, like, ongoing throughout the rest of the months and years to come. Like, I will not have to manually share it. TikTok is doing that for me, and that's incredibly powerful. So again, in terms of the why, our why should be to be able to do what we can to be able to help accelerate the shift in consciousness. As a conscious creator, your role is one about being able to share your authentic expression, to share your authentic voice, and then at the same time to also be able to provide value, to provide something of meaning to the person. And also a really big part of your why should be able to like help people feel. As a creator, people are going to remember not just what you create, but how you make them feel. And so for me, with my own personal content, this is where I really like to make a variety of content where it's going to make people feel even like relaxed. And that's where I have some of my meditation videos. Like, one of my other videos is like literally just me sending Reiki in combination with some cool graphics. And that video is like still going viral as we speak. And again, that video, the comments on it are beautiful. People are just like, whoa, like this really helped me relax. Some comments have even been like, yo, this made my day, or even like this like made me cry, like in a good way. So here we are stepping into our role as techno shamans, as techno wizards. And so for me, like, I literally see the utilization of technology as the ability to be able to put forth messages and stories and symbols and energy. And that energy, through the power of the screen, has this ability to non-locally connect with other people who happen to be tuned in, and for them to be able to receive the intentions of the content that we are creating so that it can make a difference. And then again, within TikTok, there are a lot of people who may, even just if you look at the collective story of where we're at right now as a world, there's a lot of people right now who are just kind of even beginning their spiritual awakening. So they're thirsty for people who might have some sort of insight and inspiration, personal experience and wisdom related to spirituality that you can share. And so being able to create content with TikTok, one of the things that's exciting about it is that I find using TikTok really has helped kind of like it spark this degree of creative excitement within me. It's given me a place to focus my creative energy. Again, whereas like before, like if I was like creating something on Instagram, like, yeah, you know, like I'd pour my heart and soul into it. I'd create something on Instagram. Maybe like 100 people would see it. That'd be great. And then after that, it would just kind of like disappear. And then I would just be like, like, how does that feel? Like, how does that make me feel? And then at the same time, I'm like, I'm grateful to the people who saw it did, but I'd love for more people to see it. I'd love for more people to be inspired by it. And so again, with TikTok, it really kind of gives you this incentive where it's like, yo, if you make good content, like, we'll help you. We'll help it get to more people, reach more people, help assist you in getting your message out there. So TikTok has really inspired this kind of like creative fire within me, and it's really helping me kind of like think about creativity in different ways. I'm starting to think about things where it's like, oh, you know, like if an idea comes to me, I'd be like, oh, like that could be an idea for a TikTok video. And then I'll kind of like write it down, and then I'll try and do it like as soon as I can. Like this is like a side tip. once you start getting those ideas, like do them sooner rather than later. Don't just kind of like put them off and then never do them type thing. You kind of want to like do them like while the idea is still hot and everything like that. And so again, like with TikTok, it's also again like being able to help you like strengthen your production skills. It's helping you just like get more in the habit of practicing the production process. And so the other really cool thing with TikTok is that it actually has like a very very effective, as much as it is relatively simple, editing software within the app. Instagram and YouTube do not have this in their own right. So, you know, anything that you're creating on Instagram has to be created outside of Instagram. Here, I mean, relatively speaking, you can film with like videos and apply filters and stuff like that. It's not that complex though. Here within TikTok, you can like apply all sorts of different filters, add text into the video, mix in the music and things like that. So even if you don't have a third-party editing app or a desktop editing app, TikTok still grants people this ability to just get into the mindset of like, oh sweet, like I can edit videos together. I can create like little clips, string them together, create a little story, yada yada yada, add some music, boom, awesome, it's beautiful. So having the tool of TikTok at your hands and being inspired by what other people are creating is a great way to just kind of start getting you more into that creative mindset, to really start getting you into just like kind of like thinking about what is possible, what it is that you want to create. And again, it's a journey in itself, you know, it's a journey of just being able to allow yourself to like be open to the ideas that are coming through you. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, where like even as I'm continuing to create, you know, it's kind of like, okay, the universe is now kind of working through me to be able to get these messages out to a wider audience, and I can kind of practice being in my like heart space to kind of hear like what message needs to come through today, you know. And that might be like a short little video, and I know a lot of people are kind of doing this. Like I'm going to show you a variety of TikTok creators in the next little bit as we go through it, and you're going to see, you know, like my videos, I kind of make them in a way where it's like a little bit more advanced, like I like to kind of polish them. And then sometimes it will be a simple video, but then you get other people and their videos are, the majority of them, it might be just them talking to a camera and then with a little bit of text on screen, and they're still like reaching thousands of people. So TikTok has really become this kind of great equalizer. And again, even within the conscious spiritual community, that hashtag, the light workers on TikTok, there are people of all ages who are involved in it. Like I am literally seeing, it's really cool. There's like there's a niche side of TikTok where it's like witches of TikTok. It's like, that's literally a hashtag. And there's a lot of people who I've seen who are like more of like, you know, the generations before me, people who might be even in their 40s and their 60s, you know, like older, like wise women and men who are sharing their knowledge on TikTok, because it's like something where like it's reaching people, it's become accessible, it's relatively easy for them to use, and again, they're enjoying it. It's fun. It's something where it's like you're engaged in it and it really starts to yield results right away. So in terms of other stuff, okay, so what I am going to do, I'm just looking at my notes now. If this resonates with you guys, go ahead and just leave some 1111s in the comment, and I would love to just be able to get your feedback. If you do have any quick questions in the chat, go ahead and leave those in the chat, and I'll do my best to kind of answer them as we go. A little bit later in the broadcast, I'm going to be inviting a couple people on air, some fellow conscious TikTok creators, onto the broadcast to talk a little bit about like what their experiences has been with TikTok. And again, that's one of the great things that I've really enjoyed about this platform, is that literally just through searching hashtags, I'm like finding other conscious creators, and again, building this team has been a big part of my passion. So I'm literally like there's been a bunch of people that I've just kind of found, I've been able to reach out to, and I've literally just been able to, again, just kind of like be like, yo, like I really appreciate your content. I'll even connect to them on Instagram, I'll follow them there, I'll send them a direct message. So there's a couple of those people who are going to be possibly joining us on air for the broadcast tonight. And I'm literally live on TikTok right now, by the way. So, so thank you again. And I think one of them, one of them actually may be watching right now. So if you are active on TikTok and you already have an account on TikTok, please, if you have not yet, drop your account name into the YouTube chat right now, and that way so we can continue to support each other. So again, as we're going through this broadcast, I'm going to explain to you the next steps now that we've kind of gotten into the mindset of like figuring out your why. You know, what is your heart song? what do you want to share in terms of content? And again, that can be a variety. Sometimes it may just be a dancing video. It may just be you just kind of like sharing good vibes. It may be a little bit more specific. It may be, again, kind of like esoteric knowledge. It may be kind of like psychology. It may be law of attraction. It could be all of those things. It could be, again, just kind of that intention of like wanting to help people on your journey. And in the process of doing this, you're building this relationship between you and the audience. And at the end of the day, with any social media platforms, it's always going to come down to building those relationships, building that one-to-one relationship. So that's where, by putting yourself in front of the camera and allowing that eye contact to be established and just allowing people to see you and feel your energy, for them, it's a choice for them to be able to say like, yes, like I would like to be able to develop this relationship further. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to pay attention to your content. And hey, if you've got other things to offer, maybe I'm going to connect with you further. Maybe I'm going to check out your YouTube. Maybe I'm going to check out your Instagram, because you can link all those into your TikTok once you have it set up and everything like that. So as we go through this, I will just mention this right off the start. For those of you who, by the time you're finished listening to this broadcast, if you would like to be able to connect further, there is the opportunity for people to be able to join through my Patreon. And through the Patreon, that's when you can join as a leading member, which is only $11 a month. And through that, that is our team of conscious media creators. That is our private team chat. That's being able to join on-air broadcasts that we do once a week. That's having access to me as a conscious media creation coach and lots of other stuff. I'm going to be posting more videos for the leading members of like specific editing techniques a little bit later, not just in this broadcast. So listen to this. I'm going to provide you with like a lot of value, because again, the intention here is I want to get people like rolling on the platform, and I want to be able to get them into the mindset of how to be able to get started on TikTok. And then if you want to just like keep going with that, absolutely. But if you want to connect further with myself and the team, be sure to check out the Patreon where you can sign up there. So again, to join into, we even have like a chat within our team chat with our Discord server that's specific for TikTok creation. And that's where we're going to be sharing. So when we have new TikToks, we'll post it there, and that way we can boost each other's posts. When someone posts a new post, we'll be able to engage with it, follow, get those initial reactions within that first couple hours. That's always super, super important, and just be able to support each other in the production process. So again, either join on Patreon, or there are some people that I've like personally kind of invited into that initial circle just to be able to like get their foot in the door and to be able to welcome that in. But again, if you're just like, yo, I would love to be, again, not only supporting what I do in the community, but to be able to have that additional support as you are getting started on TikTok, be sure to check out the Patreon. Again, links are on screen, and you can find the links in the information down below. And that's like ongoing, and there's lots more value to be able to come out of that. And thank you again to our Patreon supporters, and thank you again just to everyone for being here. Your support in all forms is equally appreciated. So getting started and creating an account on TikTok. So that's where we're going to start off, and then from there we are going to just kind of like get into the basics, and then from there I'm going to begin showing you some examples of what of some TikTok creators, and then from there we're going to get into more of the details of like utilizing hashtags, the best times to post on TikTok, and then a little bit more with editing, and then a little bit more about how to be able to like source inspiration. So getting started on TikTok. Choosing a username is always super, super important. So choosing a username is going to be incredibly vital for your ongoing success. And I would just say, when you're choosing your username, if you want to choose your name, that is entirely an option. But if your name is like kind of like maybe your last name maybe is like a little bit like long, or even just like hard to kind of spell, consider choosing something that could be much simpler. The simpler and the more memorable your name is on TikTok, the better, especially when you are in a position where you just want to be able to simply like let people know in person what your TikTok is. So if someone were to come up to me like, oh, you're on TikTok, what's your TikTok? I'd be like, oh, my TikTok is Mystic Spider-Man, you know, opposed to like be like, what's your TikTok? Maybe like, oh, my TikTok is wolf_boy with an O instead of a 0, hashtag like asterisk sign quiggly mark or something like that. So 1 second here. Hold on, just gotta respond to a quick thing real quick. All right. So again, choosing a simple name on TikTok is incredibly valuable. No additional characters, no underscores, to the best of your ability. Don't just use your name. If you already have, that's okay. But again, be aware of the fact that you want your name on TikTok to be simple and to stand out. So again, even kind of think of like, like a superhero name, something like that. Like that can be a great way to kind of like start getting ideas for names on TikTok. So creating a name on TikTok, obviously a first place to go. Obviously, if you haven't yet, download the app, create your profile, etc., etc. The other thing you can do on TikTok is you can switch to a pro account. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but creating a pro account on TikTok will allow you to see additional analytics. To do this, you actually go into your manage your account, and then you switch it to a pro account. I'll show you some on-screen stuff for that, but I literally just did that recently, and so I don't even have like all the analytics there to be able to show for, because I literally just turned that on today because I just found out about it today. But that's going to be another thing, and again, that's just something to just kind of keep in mind for those of you looking for more of the advanced stuff. The other thing that you want to be able to do on TikTok, and I'm going to start bringing up the on-screen graphics here, so watch this. We're gonna activate TikTok magic right now. Ta-da, there you go. You can see we are on TikTok right now as it is, and I'll be able to pull up some audio as we kind of go through this. But again, your other thing that you want to be able to do to keep in mind on TikTok is your profile. So your profile is very important. You've got, like, similar to Instagram, you've got like a one line space to be able to put in information about who you are and what you do. And that's exactly what should be in that space. It should be kind of like, like, I am so and so and I help people so and so, so like you can literally even just kind of like, you can experiment with that. You could put in titles, you could put in, like title like light worker, helping assist with the shift in consciousness, just get creative, but ultimately keep it simple. Now through your TikTok, you will be able to add your additional links. So if you were to click on mine, you can see there's like the Instagram logo there. If you click that will link to my Instagram as well as my YouTube. So you can add both an Instagram link and a YouTube link there as well. And then underneath that, you have your profile bio link. Now, with the profile bio link, this is going to be just like a quick tip that, maybe some people haven't thought about. Opposed to just putting one single link, like a single link to maybe your, like, your main website, what I utilize and what I encourage other people to utilize is utilize a website similar to Linktree. Linktree is just one example. There's others out there. But Linktree, as I click on it, I'll show you, is basically a website. And if you just click that, that's just a standard thing that says you're going to the next page. It's basically a website where you can like add in a variety of links onto a single page. Now, mine's got quite a few links just because I've got like so much content to be able to share. I'm probably going to go through and just kind of refine it, but you can literally see there at the top, it's got the link for, tonight's live broadcast. So if you were to click on that, it would go to literally what we're watching right now. You can see it's got like my newest videos. It's got the Journey to Lucidity movies that you can watch. For those of you who haven't checked that out, check out the Journey to Lucidity movies. A couple other videos. It's got the recordings for my Waking Up with Wolf. It's got my Patreon. It's got links to, again, like my Instagram, my TikTok, because this same link is also a link that is also in my Instagram. And it's also got a link to the item store, to the team chat, and to other playlists such as global meditations and things like that. So that's a website known as Linktree, Linktree. So go ahead and check out Linktree and utilize that as a way just to be able to add in multiple links into your profile. And again, the other thing that you want to be able to do, obviously have a compelling display picture. So the display picture that I'm using, obviously it's like from a professional photo shoot. It's like me in my Mystic Spider-Man gear. It really stands out. People are going to kind of remember it. Again, even within the TikTok niche, there's kind of like a whole cosplay niche. I obviously kind of merge the cosplay with kind of the spiritual themes as well. So just find a picture that is going to, again, kind of like convey who you are, what you do. It could be your face, it could not be your face, but ultimately just kind of like decide what's going to work best with you, and you can always change it there. And if you are going to change your name, you can only change your name X number of times within a certain amount of period. So the other basic things that you want to know about TikTok is that you can go live once you have 100 followers. And if you are going live, there's also like this whole like in TikTok currency exchange that takes place where people can send you gifts, and then those gifts can be turned into like a currency, and then you can take that out and put it into your PayPal. Obviously that kind of applies for like people who may have like a larger audience and everything, but there are people who are literally going live on TikTok and people send them gifts, and then they withdraw that and they're making money as well. So there is like an in currency appeal within TikTok. That is pretty cool, and that doesn't exist in Instagram. Obviously, YouTube's kind of got like its own thing for like super comments and stuff like that. But again, that's something to know. So the other main things that I'll just kind of mention in terms of we'll get into the next stuff in a bit. I'm going to talk about kind of like how to browse TikTok, how to like utilize hashtags, and how to be able to like find other creators, how to be able to get your first few followers. That's going to be really important for those of you who are brand new. But again, at this point, we're just getting started. You've created your username, something that's simple, memorable, catchy. You've got a cool profile pic, something that's going to stand out, even something that may kind of like represent some sort of conscious theme that is important to you. And again, you got your information in your profile, nice and simple, but it kind of explains to people who you are and what you do. And then also your link in your profile to be able to link people to your additional content and use a link tree there as well. I'm not entirely sure if the link only appears after you have X number of people following, because I noticed at first I didn't have the ability to add a link, but I think it's something that they're starting to add. So I'm not 100% sure about the link only being available for some people, but hopefully it's available for you. So let's take a look at TikTok and get an idea of what TikTok can be like and what can be accomplished on TikTok. So I'm going to show you a few of my TikToks here, so you'll be able to see on screen there. Again, if you guys are enjoying this, again, please feel free to just be able to, again, just like sharing your gratitude in the chat. I'm just going to check some stuff here. I just have to make sure I'm coordinating with people who want to be able to join in a little bit later. Okay, 1 second, because I just got a few people that I want to be able to see if they can join. So Spencer, if you're joined in, if you're tuned into this, let me know, just so I know that you'll be able to join as well. And then I think Hannah may be joining. Yeah, okay, so Hannah, if you're in the chat, let me know. I'm not sure if Hannah is Clear Vision Collective. Is Hannah Clear Vision Collective in the chat? I just want to make sure. I'm just kind of like looking at a couple things here before you come on. So it was going to be Spencer and Hannah, and even if it's just two people coming on, that's totally cool. And I'm going to actually show you a little bit of Hannah's content as we go. So again, perfect. All right. Okay. That is Hannah in the chat. Hannah, let me just see. Did I not send you the link for Hannah? The password that I sent you for the Zoom is like in the URL. So even if you just like see that, I'll just send it to you separately right now. And then I'm just going to get into showing some examples here. And then I'll be back onto the TikTok live, because I'm actually live on TikTok right now. So this is the beauty of having multiple phones. So Hannah, I just sent you the password individually, so you'll be able to join that a little bit later. Oh, that's okay. Clear. Okay, everyone's here. Okay, good. Hannah and Spencer here. Okay, cool. You guys are both here. Hannah and Spencer, I'm gonna bring you guys on. I would say probably maybe within the next like 20 minutes. I just want to kind of run through this again real quick. So again, let's take a look at some of the content that is already on TikTok to be able to give you some inspiration. So the way how TikTok works is, again, you know, there's like a lot of different like hashtags that you can search. We're going to explain that a little bit more, and through exploring the hashtags, we'll actually kind of see the variety of content that is available. I have some specific creators that I want to be able to highlight that I'm going to be able to show examples from. Some of those include Spencer and Hannah, who again are TikTok creators who I've recently connected with. And so let's take a look at some of the content that I've been creating on TikTok. So I'm just going to kind of scroll down, and I'm literally just going to kind of like show you some stuff that was like stuff that I made like early on. So here's one here, and you guys should be able to hear the sound for this. So I'm just going to kind of like talk over this. So this is a little TikTok video that I made that was just kind of like made to like make people feel good. It's very humble. It's like me literally just doing like free hugs, holding my free hug sign, and with a little bit of text added underneath the bottom. And it was just kind of like something that I wanted to make, just kind of like make people smile. And so with TikTok, like the TikTok videos loop, and if you create something that's nice and short, people are going to watch it like more than once. And if they watch it more than once, that's going to help with your algorithm. this video in itself didn't necessarily go like super viral, but this was one of the first videos that I made. So when it comes to creating content on TikTok, one of the things that I would really recommend for you is also just kind of like get the wheels rolling. You can't steer a parked car. So allow yourself to have those initial posts where you're just beginning to experiment, but at the same time, you do really want to focus on creating content that you are satisfied with, that you're just like, okay, this is like a clear representation of what I do, and it has like good quality to it. Because as you kind of create that first layer of content, you're going to start inviting people to your profile, and you want them to be able to land on your content and to have a clear idea of kind of like who you are and what you do. So if they were to land on there and there's just kind of like a smorgasbord of all these kind of like videos, and some of them are like less produced, some of them are random, some of them are just like pictures of food or something like that, like keep the consistency with your content. Consistency is very important. The other thing that I'll just mention here real quick, this is a little bit more of an advanced tip. Your account has kind of like a rank to it that will help it kind of be pushed into like reaching more people. And part of the rank on that is based on not deleting videos. I didn't even find this out till recently, but just be aware that if you're uploading onto TikTok, do your best not to delete videos. I've deleted a bunch because I uploaded some and then the text wasn't in the place where I wanted to, so I had to re-upload it. But just be aware that deleting videos on TikTok can have an effect, but don't worry about it too much if you need to. But one of the things that you can do when uploading is that you can set it to private. And then I'm not sure if you delete a private video if that still has the same effect, but anyways, just be aware that deleting videos on TikTok does have an effect. So anyways, here's another video that I did, which was like super simple, and it's literally just kind of like using a song that was trending. And so this is just kind of like me kind of like showing up on the scene in my Mystic Spider-Man gear. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm like Spider-Man, but with a lightsaber. And this is just kind of like using one of the songs at the time, and that song was trending. Again, that video didn't go super viral, but again, that was more just kind of practice for me. The way how TikTok works, and I won't fully get into like, hey, here's how to like, we'll run through it basically, how to create videos and stuff. But the way how it works is that you can like literally choose from a list of songs, and that's the big thing with TikTok, is that it's so music oriented, and you can use these songs, like any song within the platform, you can use it. Whereas like, you know, on YouTube and on Instagram, sometimes you'll get flagged for having content that isn't owned by you. Whereas like with this, they're encouraging you to kind of like source songs and inspiration. And so with this video example, like when you record it, if you choose a song and then you hit record, you'll hear the song playing back to you while it's recording you doing the video when you're recording in the app. So me doing the movements there was like literally me hearing the music, and then it finishes recording. And that's where you get people dancing because they can like hear the songs as they're recording. So I'm just gonna scroll up a little bit more, just kind of like give an example of some of the other videos I've done. Okay, here's a video I'm happy to show you with. This is like a video of like my mom. This is like a super humble video of just kind of like something that I wanted to share that was pretty cute and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna kind of pull up the audio on this. And again, this is like using a song that is one of the more popular songs on TikTok. And yeah, like, so it was like kind of like using a trending song and just kind of like doing something that was like very humble. So I'm just gonna kind of pull this up, and hopefully maybe you guys have to like, you know, make your screen larger so you can see, because I know it's a little bit small relative to the rest of the screen. But anyways, okay, so here's this song. Check this out.
Don't stay away for too long. Don't go to bed. I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. Okay?
Hey mom, guess what? I love you.
I love you too.
Okay, so again, I'm not entirely sure if you guys can even like fully like see the text there, but it was basically like me kind of telling a story where it was like, I was telling my mom all about TikTok and I was gonna make our dog TikTok famous, but I actually had another plan. And then it was kind of like getting her surprise reaction to me telling her that I love you, and her being like, I love you too. And then I made a TikTok video out of it, right? And then in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is gonna go viral. But then even still, I made it, and it didn't go viral, but I'm still happy I made it. And then every now and then people still randomly find it. So again, with the text and everything like that, some of these videos, I'm going to show you this next video, which is one of my more popular videos. And this is a video that I edited in another app. So we're going to talk more about the apps that I use for editing additionally. But again, in terms of like editing, you can edit within TikTok, but then if you really want to get into like making your content really stand out, I really recommend using additional apps to edit, and even using desktop applications, desktop programs such as Adobe Premiere and Final Cut. So I'm going to tell you about a couple of those apps a little bit later, but this is an app, this is using an app, and you could literally create something just like this if you're going to use the apps that I recommend in a minute. So here's a quick video of me like sending out some like energy healing. And so the music for this is like literally a chakra tone. So I'm just gonna pull that up for a second. So again, so with TikTok, it's really utilizing a combination of visual storytelling, text-based storytelling, and then audio as well. So with this one, it was this was just kind of like an idea I had in my mind where I'm like, yo, look, I want to add some like cool energy effects. And what if I were to just make a video that's just kind of like relaxing and with this intention of kind of like sending people energy through the screen? And I'm like I've never done that before, and the idea just kind of really excited me. And so I added some additional effects. This is where you can see kind of the graphics and stuff like that pulsating energy. I'll show you how to make that. And this video is one of my more popular videos. You can see it's had like over 8,000 likes, and those are like real engagements. Those are real people who have watched this video enough, who experienced it, and who were like, hey, like that was cool, I literally like that, and then liked it. And then you can literally see, like, if you were to like pull up some of the comments, there's some of the comments there, people are just saying like, this was amazing, thank you, I actually got goosebumps, just followed you, I got chills, this made me calm, I've been watching this, I saw this at 11:11. And so again, just another really cool example there. And so I'll just show you real quick. I'm just going to go through this, and then we're going to go through some other examples of TikTok creators. So this is another TikTok that I made. This is like my most popular one right now. And again, this was like the chakra practice.
The chakras are these spinning discs of energies that allow us to receive information from the future. When we use these sound vibrations, it allows us to balance them, work on them, which helps us tap into our ability to move into the future with more grace and tap into our superhero abilities. Follow my lead. Inhale.
So without needing to listen to all of that, again, this is a really cool video that I made that was like, this is like practical. Like this was something where and learn from it. And again, this one has 6,000 likes. It's payment, but also an experience. So moving forward, there's several other videos that I've made, like kind of like playing around with kind of same concepts. Again, kind of having this idea of like, this video is charged with intention, sending you good vibes. This one's kind of specific intention related to like the energy of the light guardian, which is again kind of the energy of the shifter, those of us who are here to help assist with the shift in consciousness. And again, I made this because I'm like, I wanted to make this. This was like kind of an experiment. I'm just like, I want to be able to see what this turns out to be like. If people like it, awesome. But in the meantime, I just want to make it for myself, and the fact that people liked it is like super awesome. So again, kind of moving forward, you can also curate older content onto TikTok. So obviously TikTok is kind of like function around the vertical content. However, this is like me utilizing content from like an old video about Mystic Spider-Man. Since a lot of people in my content, they haven't seen my YouTube videos most likely. So I'm like, okay, let's find like an old video that I did. And obviously I had to frame it up differently because one of the things with TikTok is that you have all these like on-screen information. You got your hashtags and the likes on the bottom, on the side. Sometimes it cuts off the text, so you kind of have to like move things so that it's gonna like not get cut off by text. That's one of the another device, like in another phone. This was like part of my experience when I was uploading things and having to delete them. And noticing that like sometimes the text would be like underneath the like the hashtags and things like that. So if you are adding text, make sure you're kind of like putting it closer to the center and not as big. Like don't put it right to the edges. Information on the edges usually gets cut off, so try and keep things relatively simple. So here's another cool video, again, without having to listen to the audio. This is like me talking about the 11:11 phenomena explained in 1 minute. Again, adding these like additional text. So the way how I'm doing this is that the text is actually like in addition to what I'm saying. So even if people are just kind of reading things, it's kind of like dialing home the ideas that I'm working on expressing. So again, going back to the why, what is the why here? There are going to be people who are watching these videos and they're going to be like, whoa, like I never thought about it that way. Or like, yo, this is like totally giving me, you know, like this makes sense, or this inspires me. Like I'm learning something, I'm remembering something. So you remember what it was like when you saw videos back in the day that really kind of were like, oh, blew your mind. That's kind of what I'm doing here. And it's literally just in like 1 minute. So again, here's like another video of me doing like my free hugs thing. This is like a really popular video on my YouTube that I just kind of like recurated using video apps to get back up onto TikTok. Again, I wasn't expecting this one to go viral, but if people browse my profile, again, it's just a cool way for them to just kind of like see more of what I'm up to. And again, for those of you who are interested, this is a Call of the Light Guardian video, which is actually through my profile link in my TikTok. So I'm just going to spend a few more moments here, and then we're going to kind of go into showing you like the variety of other people's content. This is like another visualization one that I did. This was edited in Adobe Premiere. Again, similar kind of riding off the waves of the Shocker one from before. This one, no introduction, literally just gets right into the practice. Additional text on screen for context, focusing on the sound, and again, focusing on the added visuals. Again, where for myself, I'm like, yo, like this would be like, how can I make this? This would be a really cool thing, just kind of like make this. And so I did, and I made it. And again, this video, relatively popular as well. So again, I'm going really fast here because I just want to be able to get Hannah and Spencer on before they have to head out. Other things that I've done, here's a silly video of me just dancing. So again, I'm showing you this to give you examples, like here's stuff I've done so that you can kind of be like, how can I maybe do something similar in my own way? One of the most important things with TikTok is that, you know, a lot of your inspiration should come from other creators, meaning in the same way my content may inspire others. Some of my content has been inspired by other creators. So when you see people doing trends and when you see people kind of like sharing knowledge, if you're just like, yo, that was really cool, and if their video was like really successful, look at it and maybe think, like how can I do this in my own way? How can I kind of create this and kind of add my own style, my own flair to it? So this is a cute little video of literally just me dancing, because I'm like, hey, I haven't done like a super like simple silly dancing one, but this is literally something that you could do as well, kind of like with your own trend. So here's a little one of me dancing, and that song, like, you know this song, right? It's gonna be. So this song's on TikTok for you to use. So right, like literally just like a few, like less than what, like 12-second clip or whatever. And again, just kind of like the text saying that feeling when you remember that we are the dream awakening to itself. So I literally just wanted to do that, just kind of be like, oh, here's me being cute and silly and lighthearted, and literally at the same time, like putting that piece of information, we are the dream awakening to itself. Like that's like a big nugget. That's a big nugget of wisdom there. Another one I'll just show you real quick. This is using some additional editing apps so you can kind of get some more ideas. I'll just show you this one real quick. I'll just kind of read it because I don't know if you guys can like see the text and everything. And I know people are commenting on the YouTube. Again, I'm just trying to go through this really fast. So if I'm not reading all the YouTube comments, I'm definitely going to go back and read them later. But thank you again, everyone. So here's a cute little one as well. And again, this one is like sharing some conscious wisdom. So you may be stuck inside, but that doesn't mean you have nowhere to go. And then it switches to the visualizer. Your body is a multidimensional stargate to the universe. Keep doing the work to awaken your consciousness, and you will strengthen these natural abilities. So again, that little clip there, like that's like using additional editing apps to be able to work with those graphics and to be able to download that stock footage of the space and that text. The text, you can see there's kind of like the look of the text when it's in TikTok looks a certain way. The text when I do it in the third-party editing app has its own kind of style to it. Other stuff that I've done, this is like one of those videos of me just kind of like doing like my martial arts stuff. So again, like if you feel like doing videos of you spinning bow staff, like go for it. Again, like this video isn't one of my most popular videos, but it was still a good practice for me to be able to create it. You know, like I had fun creating it, I had fun filming it, and if you read the text, it's still like literally sharing like some insight. And again, it just kind of gives people a look into like who I am. So that kind of like continues to develop this relationship where they're just like, oh, this guy's like, you know, he's pretty cool, like he does like bow staff, or like, you know, like this is just kind of who he is and everything like that. So again, another example there. This is one of the memes. So this is like literally one of the trend style videos here. And so you can see here, it's like,
what year did you start your spiritual?
So this is using audio where it's like asking different questions, and a lot of other people have made this video. And so I'll actually show you. And again, this is just like a quick way to introduce myself. I'll actually show you. So like the way how it works within TikTok. So this is using audio that has already been used and it's related to this trend. So I added this audio into the video in post-production, even though I edited it in a third-party app. Now, if I were to click on the little icon in the bottom right, this actually takes me to this original audio. This guy actually just friended me on TikTok, literally like within the last hour. I saw that. 1 second here, just gotta plug something in. So thanks, shout out to Maximilian. But again, if you look at this here, this is literally like all the people who have done this, who have like done this sort of challenge. I'm sure if you were to scroll down far enough, you would probably see me. But literally just looking at this here, this is a super cool way to just think like all the people who did this are literally like people who associate with the concept of being a light worker. So you can kind of see like how powerful a way is, where it's like you're seeing these people, you're seeing these faces, these are all real people. Each and every single one of these people would literally be people worth your time to like go and connect to and to go follow, and it's people that I could like literally go and follow too as well. So again, I'm just going to show you just like a couple more, and then we're just going to kind of go through this. Here's like a funny one that I did recently, again, using some third-party apps and using some filters. Another thing that you can really get creative with is like film stuff using filters within other platforms, including Instagram. Instagram has so many crazy face filters. You can download these face filters, and then you can use them within the third-party editing app. So this was like a really funny one that I made for Bicycle Day. So I'll just bring up the audio on that real quick. So it says, have you seen my LSD? No, but have you seen the dragons in the kitchen? Bah ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, woohoo. That's like my friend's face filter. Like both of those are like face filters made by my friend. I actually thought that one was gonna go more viral because I like made it on Bicycle Day. It didn't, but hey, that's okay. And then I'm just going to show you the last two ones that I've done, or last three ones that I've done. Here's another one using like a trend. This is a kind of like a meme trend that uses this really silly audio, and I kind of added my own kind of flair to it. Again, that's the thing. You look at what other people are doing, and then you kind of add your flair to it. So you can really start seeing how being on TikTok, you get inspired by what other people are creating, and then you start kind of like figuring out how to add your own style to it. So here's one that I made here. And it's like me starting my spiritual awakening, me hyping myself up, higher self hyping me up. I know this one kind of goes really quick. It's just like this like silly audio. I don't even know what the original source is or whatever. But again, you know, it's just kind of like this like back and forth thing. And then I just kind of like, I saw someone else kind of do something where it was like similar. It was like, in theirs, it was like me dancing as like a kid and my mom hyping me up, me dancing as like a teenager and my mom hyping me up, me dancing on TikTok and my mom being like super proud. And I saw that and I'm like, oh sweet, like that inspired me, where I'm like, yo, how could I turn that into kind of like a spiritual thing? And then lo and behold, I was just like, okay, sweet. And then I just filmed it in 5 minutes, and then I like edited it over the course of like 30 minutes, and lo and behold, it went up. That one's got over 30,000 views. Here's another one that I'm going to show you real quick, and this one, again, this was inspired by one of my friends who I'm going to actually show you in the next few minutes. So this is one that's like already going, like it's fairly viral right now, like it's starting to build momentum, and I'll just kind of show it to you real quick. And this one plants some like potent seeds. Like this is, again, like super esoteric knowledge compressed into like 15 minutes. So here's this one right now.
What if I were to tell you that the same spiral of a galaxy is the same spiral within your finger? Or that the branches of a tree are the same as the veins within your arms? What if I were to tell you that as above, so below, and that the microcosm is the macrocosm, and that we are the universe awakening to itself? Well, if I was gonna tell you, I'd probably make it into a pretty cool TikTok video, and hopefully it might blow your mind.
So there you go. So that's using audio. That audio is really popular. A lot of people have been using that audio for a variety of things. That video, again, like was literally inspired by another friend of mine who I'm going to show you as one of the creators. And he kind of created a similar video. He used that same song. He was talking about microcosm, macrocosm. His video is like almost at 1 million views. So I saw that and I'm like, yo, okay, sweet. If that worked for him, how can I kind of like use the knowing that that format is something that people like, and then kind of make something similar while it's still being my own thing, and then literally being like, yo, dude, like you inspired me to do this. So again, it's kind of like this idea where like, you know, in TikTok land, like if someone inspires you to do something, like go for it, like create your own addition to it, create your own extension of it. Like that's the thing with TikTok, is like literally like inspiration ripples. Like one person will create one trend and then another person creates another, and then that trend becomes another trend, and it just kind of continues to build on itself. So it's really, really cool. And then the last one I'm just going to show you is, again, just kind of another trend that's quite simple, and it's one where it's like me talking about 6 TV series with cool metaphysical themes. So this is like a popular song. So again, super simple. That was one of the most recent ones I made. That one didn't really like take me that long. Some of these I've edited, some of them have like taken me like hours to make. So anyways, enough of my content. I wanted to be able to show you that, just be kind of like get an idea of what I've been up to, what I've been creating, what's been working for me. And again, from here, like there's no limit on the new stuff for me to keep creating, and there's so much that I want to be able to create. So Hannah and Spencer, if you guys are available, go ahead and join the Zoom call now, and I'm just going to ask you to be in there, and then I can bring you on as soon as we're ready. And I'm just going to share a couple of other stuff real quick. So in terms of browsing content, before we even get into like showing you some of the other like creators on TikTok, there's so many, like literally I would probably just have to do another video on this. So the way how TikTok works, if you're looking to like get your reach into like, you know, like helping reach new audience, some of the most important things that you want to pay attention to are trends on the front page. So this is your home page right here. Whoops. So this is your, how do I get to the discover page? This is the discover page. I guess the home page is different. So there's literally Spencer as I'm just kind of like scrolling through. And so the homepage, this is like stuff that's just kind of being recommended to me. Some of these are people I follow, or I guess these are all people I follow. This is Anatoly. He was one of the guys I was going to talk about. He's actually like talking about like a lot of like conscious themes. I've been working with him a little bit. This is your For You page. So this is where it will actually like kind of like recommend stuff to you. Again, I'm just kind of like floating through this. This guy I'm actually just going to follow because I could literally just hear. I know you couldn't hear, but he was literally just talking about like cultivation of energy. So I'm just going to kind of follow him, and hopefully I'll check out more stuff from him later. So again, it's kind of like a great way where you can just kind of scroll through. Okay, here's a person called like High Vibe Hippie. I don't follow them yet. They showed up in my For You page, and you can just kind of see like here's a person where it's like, oh sweet, like they're clearly creating similar content. So even right here, I'm going to follow them. And for anybody here, check out High Vibe Hippie. Again, another creator. There's so many other creators. So like literally here, like I'm just going to screenshot this so I can remind myself to go back and check it out later. But you can see, look, oh sweet, they're making videos about chakras. So that's the beautiful thing with TikTok, is that like it puts you in categories with people who are already like creating similar things to you. So rather than just kind of okay, 1 second. For those of you in the Zoom call, I think, yeah, if you guys are in the waiting room, I'm just going to bring you guys in, and then, okay. Yeah, Hannah, try joining again. I think you're in the waiting room, but if you join again, I'll make sure you're there. And then, yo, Spencer. Okay, sweet. Just going to keep you on mute for now, dude. Okay, perfect. All right. Cool. All right, okay, so we got Spencer and Hannah, who we're going to bring on in a minute. I know Hannah has to leave in a bit. So, Spencer, can you just mute yourself real quick? I'm not seeing that option on my end. Yeah, okay, got it. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right, thanks again, Spencer. Okay, so again, the way how TikTok works, and again, I'm kind of like going through a lot really quick here, but again, if you're like looking to like really go deeper, this is again where I like really recommend connecting to me, and like connecting as like, again, like our team of conscious creators, conscious media creators that we're building, conscious TikTok creators. So one of the things that you want to pay attention to with TikTok is like these trends on the front page. So these trends are basically what are showing up in this area, and basically what you can do. So here's one called Earth Day. If you click on the trend itself, it will tell you Happy Earth Day. The planet is the one we call home, etc., etc., etc. It's encouraging people to create content about Earth Day. That's pretty cool. If you use that hashtag, it might show up there, or at least it will kind of find itself in the trending. So there's a lot of stuff here. It may not be exactly what you're totally interested in, but if there's like some sort of cool thing here that maybe you can add your own flair to, definitely take a look at these, be aware of them, and then kind of like find your own way to add your style. I personally haven't been focusing on that. I've just been kind of making the things I've been inspired to make, but at the same time, again, like if there is something there that you kind of want to add your own style to, absolutely. So that's where, again, with this one, this is like pet vlog. So this is like one where I could probably make something silly for it, using like my dog or whatever, but you can hear people literally just making pet vlogs. So again, that's like the basics of just kind of like the discovery page. What I really want to show you is the power of the hashtags. So the hashtags, and then I'm just going to show you some of the creators as well. And Hannah, I don't see you in the waiting room. Can you maybe try rejoining? I'm not sure if Hannah can hear me through YouTube, but Hannah, go ahead and try rejoining. And again, I'm going to bring you guys on because I know Hannah has to leave soon. Okay, so the hashtags are super powerful, just as a way to be able to discover things and to be able to get like inspiration for content. So for example, we are going to run a hashtag on the hashtag Lightworker. So if I run a search on the hashtag lightworker, and then I go up at the top, and then from there, if you literally just kind of like scroll through here, you're going to see like all of these people who are creating content within the niche of kind of like the lightworker like kind of mentality. And then if you were to look at right now we're in top, but you could literally look at videos, and then videos are also going to show up there. And then if you look up on hashtags, how did I do this before? There was another way that I did this once before. Yes, I guess I'm doing it right. Hashtag light worker. Did I do it differently last time? There's another way that I did it, and at one point when I did this, like some of my videos were actually at the top, which was pretty dope. But again, if you scroll through here, there's like several creators here, and this is a great way just to be able to find people who are in your similar like content that you want to be able to look at and get inspired by. So here's one of the first people I followed. This is Infinite Cup. Infinite Cup has like a YouTube channel at the same time. And again, like he's been making content for quite a while. Huge shout out to him. Like seeing his content kind of gave me some ideas for how to make my content. And again, you can see with his content style, as we're just kind of watching this, it's just kind of got music playing in the background. His style of content here is, again, one that you can kind of mimic, where he's not talking. He's literally just kind of like pointing and like focusing on text and providing information. And it's got some funky music in the background, and it's not too hard to edit. And you could literally do this too. So even if you're a person who's like not fully like, you know, like, oh, I don't want to do crazy editing, but I still got information to share. There's some videos I've seen where people are literally just kind of like pointing, and then they kind of just got information kind of like popping up as they go. So okay. Okay, sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on see if Hannah was there in the background. And so again, here's another one at the top of the Lightworkers page. You can see here's a person literally just doing like a Tibetan singing bowl. So again, this is like really showing you guys that there is like an active spiritual community on TikTok that is blowing up. This video, this was posted back in March, and it has like over 400,000 likes. So the idea that this has kind of like reached so many people, like that's like really, 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 really cool. So again, just kind of looking at this is a great way to be able to like find more people. And I could literally spend like an entire broadcast just kind of scrolling through. But you can find there's like so many people here talking about like different spiritual themes. And again, this format being able to combine graphics with like audio and everything like that is a really cohesive way to be able to get across this valuable information. And you're going to see a variety of people kind of like doing it with their own unique styles. So again, literally if you were to run some other searches, even just like on spiritual awakening, and then if you do that, again, like similar thing, you run a hashtag on the search on that, and here you're going to find some videos. This is actually a video that I wanted to feature right up at the top. This was one of the first videos that I ever watched on TikTok, and this is by my friend Adrift. And I'm just going to let you guys watch this real quick, because again, this video at the top, it's all about like the pineal gland and DMT and stuff like that. This is like one of the most like, again, it's right now it's like the most popular video with the hashtag spiritual awakening. I'm just going to let you guys watch that real quick.
Scientific Facts Part 1. The pineal gland is a section in our brains that produces serotonin and melatonin, and also produces very high levels of DMT, which is a chemical that is produced when we fall asleep that allows the pineal gland to open so we can actually dream. It is modernly known as the third eye, which ancient Egyptians had access to this information thousands of years ago, and they actually had the ability to open the third eye within awakened states of consciousness. When the third eye is actually opened, the human being actually has the ability to see life through a different perspective. Neuroplasticity is the ability to change one's brain and brain cells and the way the brain functions throughout its entire journey of life. It was previously known that once brain cells actually die within the human brain, that they cannot be reproduced, but recent studies have proven neuroplasticity actually can occur throughout one's entire life by eating foods such as blueberries and chocolate, but can actually completely reverse the diagnosis of aging as well. Scientific Facts Part 1. The pineal gland is...
So there you go. So that's a video. That guy's channel is Adrift.
Scientific.
I've been talking to him. He was actually like possibly going to come on for this broadcast or another. Again, just like a fellow awesome creator, he blew up on TikTok. 251,000 people following him. And again, you can just like through there. He's like worked with like big brands as a result of that. So again, that's like a really cool way just kind of like see what is possible on TikTok. And again, I think if you run a search, I was just going to do this where. Again, this is what I was looking for earlier. If I run a search on Lightworker, and if I grab how do I get the hashtag? Just that, and then This is what I was looking at. There we go. See, that's what I was pointing at. So you can see, like, right now, like, one of my videos, like, is, like, in, like, the top position for the light worker tag. Like, that's pretty cool, right? So, like, a little, like, badge of honor for me just to be able to see that. And at the same time, it's like, you can do that too. So there's a lot of other stuff that I can mention, but again, I'm gonna probably, like, get into more of those details a little bit later on, or at least, again, like, with our Patreon members, with those of us who are kind of, like, working together within our team chat and everything like that. The other thing that I will mention real quick in terms of, like, getting your first initial followers, this is a quick tip. Find other people who have made spiritual videos, and then go into the comments where there's lots of comments and reply to people's comments, like their comment, and then it creates the initial like, notification for them to see someone reply to their comment, and then it might entice them to be able to go back to your profile. So within the first 2 days that I was building my account, when I had, like, a couple posts up, basically I would go to, like, Infinite Cups profile, and then I reply with genuine replies to various comments, and then like those comments, and then out of that, those people started to follow me. And so that's, like, a quick little tip to start getting your initial follower built up, engaged. So with that said, I'm going to bring things up on screen for our within our Zoom call right now, and we are going to bring on Hannah and Spencer. And Hannah and Spencer, again, I'm just going to I'll show you real quick. I'll show you Hannah's real quick. So you can see Hannah's profile here on screen. So this is Hanholla, Hanholla on TikTok. And Hannah, again, has got some, like, really cool videos where sometimes it's just kind of like her talking to the camera, but then it's kind of the title or the concept of the video, like, with the text on screen. Very simple, very effective. Hannah has also been doing a lot of, like, on live broadcasted meditations, which is, like, really, really inspirational to see. So with that said, I'm going to switch things over. We're going to completely switch the on-screen graphics here, and we are going to switch it up so that we are going to have Hannah and Spencer on camera with us now. And just give me 2 seconds here. I just have to be able to do one quick little adjustment. And if there's a little bit of, like, a mis-sync within the audio, I'm aware of that, but it will be what it is. But again, so at this point, I'm more than happy. I'm very, very happy to be able to bring on Hannah first, who is literally just going to be on here for about 15 minutes, and then Spencer will be on here, and then me and Spencer are just going to chat for a little bit more, and then we'll get close to wrapping up this broadcast. But again, we're going to invite Hannah on just to be able to say hello and to talk a little bit about, you know, what her experience has been like using TikTok, and, you know, what she enjoys out of it, and how it's been helping, you know, shift consciousness and the feedback they've been getting. So Hannah, thank you so much for joining, and I'm gonna bring you up on screen, and if you can unmute yourself and go right ahead, and you can introduce yourself, say hi to people, and tell us a little bit about your experience creating conscious content on TikTok. So sorry, Hannah, can you hear me? Are you 1 second, just want to make sure that Hannah can hear me okay. All right, I think Hannah may be watching the YouTube feed. Hannah, can you hear me through here? Spencer, you can hear me too, right? Yeah. Okay, so Hannah, if you want to start, go ahead. And let me just make sure you're unmuted. Okay, try now.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Okay, we're good. Okay, Hannah, passing the talking stick to you. Go ahead, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about what creating conscious content on TikTok has been like for you.
Yeah, sure. So I am an energy healer and coach and meditation facilitator, and I've been doing this for years. And Gary Vee is actually the person who motivated me to get on TikTok, because he's been pushing TikTok like crazy. And so I hopped on. You know, I didn't take it that seriously at first. I was just kind of messing around, playing with it, looking at the platform, seeing what was out there. And then what I started to discover is that there really is opportunity to go really niche. And that I think that's true on any platform, but, you know, Instagram is completely oversaturated, YouTube as well, and it's hard to gain a following quickly. TikTok, there's just massive opportunity right now to go niche and do exactly what you want to do and filter through a lot of the noise. So I've really enjoyed it. I've built in a short amount of time a really awesome community of people who are very genuine followers, and, you know, I've made friends as well. And I've grown, you know, the numbers, as you can see, I'm very simple. You know, I haven't really explored or I should say, haven't really used my creativity as much as I'd like to with making various videos. But honestly, I think the simpler the better for me. It's different for everybody. You know, I think you have to play around with using your creativity and your intuition, and just go towards what you're genuinely interested in. Um, and for me, it's just easy to get on there and talk. So that's what I've been doing.
That's awesome. And so you're currently at about 32,000 followers. When did you start?
You know, I got on the app probably 4 or 5 months ago, but then I really got serious about it about 3 months ago, where I'm posting daily. And that, I would say, is the number one thing for me, in my experience, that really grew the account fast, is showing up every day and posting every day, 3 to 4 times a day. You know, you'll grow some posting once a day. And again, it's different for everybody. You know, I can only speak off of my experience, and I'm not making these like really, you know, professional videos at all. It's easy for me to show up 3 or 4 times a day because I'm essentially making it like an Instagram story. Like I would make my Instagram stories, where I'm just giving some tidbits on whatever. So it's easier for me to do that, but that is what grew my account the fastest, was posting 3 to 4 times a day.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what type of content have you kind of like found the most success with? Like what type of content of people, like, you know, like what type of posts of yours have been kind of like the more viral posts? Any pleasant surprises there?
It's been kind of all over the place. I will say also, the shorter the video is, the more likely, the more views you get, without a doubt, the shorter it is. But I mix it up. You know, I could be a lot more strategic with my growth and with my videos, for sure. But the shorter the video is, and as far as the topics,
we're still in this new moon portal, so it's a
you know,
great
I talk a
energy
lot
to
about the
manifest.
subconscious mind, reprogramming the subconscious mind. A lot of, you know, inner child healing has surprisingly been very popular for people. Healing, you know, childhood trauma, which we all have childhood trauma, and how that I've figured out is linked to your ability to manifest. So that's been very popular. Manifesting in general, people usually want to know manifesting. Quantum physics, I talk a lot about quantum physics. You know, and elevating consciousness from 3D to 5D. People are very interested in what is the fifth dimension. You know, when are we going to get there? You know, a lot of people are asking about that. I think because it's so like prevalent right now. We're in this shift right now. But I think generally just helping people move through this time right now as best as, you know, I talk about specific tools to help people ground their energy. You know, breath work, meditation. I show up every day, and I do a live meditation. Through that, I've built a very solid community. I have people that show up every single day. And I think that consistency has been very helpful in building a community. I wouldn't say that's, you know, if you're wanting to grow your account, you know, some people have different thoughts on this, but you know, I sometimes I'm spending like 2 to 5 hours on a live talking to people. And there's, you know, theories that you could spend your time better making quality content, which is true from one perspective, but I'm also making very real relationships and community by staying on that live, by showing up every day with that live. So I hope I answered your question there. I know I was long-winded.
No, totally, absolutely. Because again, you know, like one of the things that I was talking about right at the beginning is that, you know, like TikTok, with any platform, it is about developing those relationships. And so again, you know, like it just kind of using the space for us to just help invite other people into, you know, why would they want to be able to join on TikTok? I mean, yes, it's a great place to be able to be seen, but more than that, it's the idea that like we are ambassadors for the messages that we carry, for the wisdom that we carry. And that's kind of the way how we have to see it. Whereas like, you know, like use your ego to kind of create this character that's going to help you stand out, but then be in this kind of like humble place where you're just like, you know, like this is about being able to like serve you. This is about being able to reach the audience. And then again, about being able to develop that relationship. And I think like, even though on TikTok, there's going to be a variety of content that may be a little bit more superficial and fun and everything like that. And that's totally cool. you know, because people are still like just like in this creative process and everything. But at the same time, like I think when you're really showing up and you're creating value and you're speaking to people's heart, like they're gonna just be, you know, very appreciative of that, and it's gonna keep them coming back. It's gonna allow them to be able to be like, yo, this person's, you know, like they're not just here for some sort of like fame and popularity or anything like that. Like they are here to be able to help make an impact, and we make an impact through the individual relationships that we develop with people through the one-to-one connections and everything. So yeah, like it's been really cool. Again, like even I really only got started on TikTok like it's barely been 3 weeks. It's actually been less than a month. But you were one of the earlier people, again, just running the search on spiritual awakening. I think that's how I found you. And again, I've been seeing you posting content regularly, and similar to you, like again, that's when I reached out because I saw you were doing your live meditations, and I'm like, yo, like we're both doing a very similar thing. So again, you know, like for you, how do you feel, just like being on TikTok within like this short duration of time has kind of like help you grow as like, you know, a facilitator and as a creator, and just how do you feel like that you've grown through the process of just engaging with this platform?
Yeah, well, definitely just the practice of showing up and serving. There's something to be said about developing that rhythm and cadence, and that's a big thing with social media is getting into the rhythm and showing up consistently, because that's how you're going to grow your numbers. That's how you're going to develop deeper relationships with those that are following you. And through this quarantine, you know, I'm also a tennis pro. I teach tennis, and I'm not able to do that right now. So I just told myself, well, I'm going to replace when I would be teaching tennis and show up and do these lives every day. And me committing to that routine has very much helped me develop these relationships, but also get into the rhythm of what my message is and refining that, and also understanding what people need. And I think that's a very important part is, you know, defining who do you want to serve, how do you want to serve them, and then more than anything, figure out what do people need. The people that you are wanting to serve, really figure out what do they need, where are they struggling the most. And that's helped me by showing up every day, get in with the you know, community that I'm wanting to serve. But I've also strengthened my ability to serve, you know, just by being consistent. Consistency is huge.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Like, and this is where, again, you know, we can get more into like the tactics related to TikTok about, you know, like there's like posting at least twice a day is going to be great. And then there's certain times that you want to post. Don't post in the middle of the night or anything like that. Post because those first couple hours, those are going to be important for engagement, for reach and everything like that. But again, that's more of the talk for another time. Hannah, knowing that you have to leave in a minute, do you have any sort of like additional like inspiration or insight, or just, again, you know, like a little bit that you can just share to help other people just kind of reflect on being like, oh, you know, like maybe I want to try this too, you know, maybe I'd like to get involved with TikTok too. So any other words of inspiration for the people out there maybe just getting started?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you have the desire to show up and serve other people online, there you have nothing to lose with TikTok. And if you feel like, is this going to be a waste of time, double the content up. So with my live meditations, for example, I'm recording the meditation. So I'm showing up every day on the live, I'm recording it, and I'm posting it to my podcast and to my YouTube. So I'm growing all of these channels simultaneously. So, but beyond that, you know, there's TikTok, there's just, you know, and Gary Vee talks about this all the time, and not to like push Gary Vee, because I know people have different opinions on him, and myself included, but you know, there is an opportunity here to grow and to find the right community for you. And because TikTok has, in every platform has this like superficial element to it, a lot of it is, if you're coming from a place of just genuinely serving people and having, you know, very grounded tools to help people as well, you know, like yourself, you have very specific, beautiful videos that are educational, but also tools that are going to help people through this shift. I mean, people need tools big time. And they, you know, yes, people showing up and dancing is great. And, you know, just talking about themselves, we are shifting out of that consciousness. And if you can get into the vibration of how am I serving others, especially if you're part of a conscious community and you consider yourself part of this like spiritual awakening, you have a place to be helping others, period. And TikTok is a place where you can find your specific community the more that you show up every day. And I promise you, if you're consistent with it, you will magnetize the people that are meant to work with you. And it's a business opportunity for sure, but it's also an opportunity to really show up and align with what your soul's mission is. You know, if you're part of this awakening and you're part of this conscious community, you have a specific thing to do here. And TikTok, it's I didn't believe it at first, but it's the proof is in the pudding now. So I just say go for it, but also grow some other channels too. You always double up the content. Turn it into a blog post, turn it into an Instagram post. If you have two phones, go live simultaneously. When I go live, I'm on TikTok and on Instagram, and I'm recording it and putting it on other channels. So you can spread your message a lot further too.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And the one thing I'll just say, and I know you have to leave in a second, is that I think what's really cool with TikTok, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, is that through all social media platforms, this happens. But more so with TikTok, I've noticed, is that there's still a place for synchronicity to occur within the technology.
100%.
So like lots of people, I'm sure this happens with you, where they're finding your content and they're like, whoa, like I needed to see this, or this is exactly what I was looking for. I'm looking at this at 11:11, etc., etc., etc. So it's really cool to just kind of know that, like, even through the technology's still us, it's still consciousness. And TikTok does have this very rewarding, kind of humbling algorithm, far different from the others, and it's really designed to help people connect with like interests and shared passion. So for those of us putting out that vibration, the algorithm brings it to us, and it's really beautiful. So cool. Hannah, thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to being able to chat some more. And thank you so much for being here.
See you guys.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
See you around. Awesome. Sweet. So for those of you looking to connect with Hannah, I put the links. We'll put those into the YouTube show notes as well. But again, you can find her on Instagram as well at Hannah Holiday. If you look up Hannah L Holiday, HOLLADAY, and again, I just posted that into the YouTube chat. But you can also find her on TikTok at Han Holla, HOLLA. So yeah, super excited just to be able to have Hannah on as well. And cool. And anything else before you jump off? Was there anything else?
No,
gratitude?
No, not at all. Let's connect again. This was fun. I would love to help people grow their TikTok. I mean, I'm not kidding. We all know that it's needed right now.
It is.
People need help, and if you have the desire to help people or whatever, if you just have the desire to talk about this stuff and you're interested in it, I do want to add. I was shocked. I thought TikTok was all like teenagers. That's why I was a little reluctant and resistant to get on it, because I thought, is that really the crowd I want to be helping? I've gained sessions, and most of them are older people. There's an older crowd, like our parents' age and beyond, on TikTok. So it's not just little kids dancing at all. So they're look beyond that. There's a wide range of demographic. And again, I've gained, I'm already monetizing it and serving people like I want to be serving. So I say just do it.
That's awesome. Sweet. Well, I look forward to being able to connect some more, and we'll collaborate, and looking forward to just being able to help support each other and the community. So
for sure.
Awesome.
Cool. Right, Thanks for having me.
Thank you as well. Thanks for joining. Take care. See you later. All right. Okay, cool. So as it is right now, we do have Spencer, who is here as well. And I'm going to just invite Spencer on as well as show you some of the content that Spencer has been creating. And I'm going to pull that up on screen as well. And I just want to be able to cover some of my notes and just be able to make sure. The other things that I haven't talked about just yet are like the additional video editing apps, and then just kind of like additional like side tips and everything like that. But we've basically covered everything that I've wanted to be able to cover. So again, kind of even with what Hannah was saying, like if you have like already kind of like a business plan in place, like in terms of like how you're serving people or doing one-on-one sessions, or even if you've got a Patreon or things like that, like TikTok is a great place to just be able to expand your audience and invite them back to your additional service. Even if you have like a shop, an item shop or something like that, you could create videos of your items and then have the link for that in your profile so that people can check it out and be able to connect to you there. And again, you know, for me, it's like building the community, connecting people to the Patreon, connecting people to my item shop, things like that. So yeah, like finding the creative ways to be able to utilize a platform that's going to serve your unique kind of like either whether you're thinking of it as a business, or again, even if you're just literally just there where it's like, hey, I'm not doing this as a job, I'm literally just doing this because it's fun. And that's why you should be showing up, because you enjoy doing it. And that's what I've really enjoyed about TikTok, is that because, you know, there's something rewarding about knowing that my content is out there reaching people, and for me to just be able to be like, whoa, sweet, you know, like this is a really, really cool thing that is helping a lot of people. And I know that by me like spending time putting work into it, it's just going to help more people, and that like helps me just kind of like feel like I'm like in my place, in my purpose. So what I'm actually going to do, I just want to be able to take just like a quick little moment here to bring Spencer on, just so we don't have to go back and do it real quick. So in terms of the editing apps that I want to be able to mention real quick, the editing apps that I use, these are for iOS. The editing apps that I use are Video Leap and Wurble. So Video Leap and Wurble are two editing apps. Both of them cost a little bit of money. So if you're looking to be able to use those, it is considered to be like an investment in yourself. But if you're really looking to be able to like increase your ability to be able to edit and everything, really look into those. Again, I don't think in this broadcast we're really going to get into like the specifics of how to create like videos within TikTok. But what I would just say is that the best way for you to learn that is to literally just play with it. Like literally just download it and just play with it, opposed to just me just kind of showing you everything, because that's literally something you can explore on your own. The other things that I would encourage you to be aware of, this is more again, so for iOS, is also using screen record. If you use screen record, you can use that to be able to like record like even audio from like another track, and then use that to lay it into your video to be able to like add in the additional sounds. Again, there's a lot of like kind of like more technical stuff, but again, that advanced stuff I'll be sharing a little bit later on, even just for like people inside of our Patreon group as well. Another app that you would want to use, or a program for your desktop, for those of you using Mac, is the program called iExplorer. This just allows you to transfer files from your Mac to your desktop if you're doing additional editing there. And then again, on desktop, I encourage you to use software such as Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut. And again, both of those, yeah, they cost a little bit of money. I think both of them can be purchased for like a monthly fee. But if you're really looking to just kind of make things stand out, that is what I recommend. For Android, the app that I would encourage you to use is the app known as iShot. So Wurble is an app that, again, I'm not going to really kind of get into the details now because I just want to be able to bring Spencer on. But that's the app where, like, when I was making the energy vibrations and stuff like that, that was using that app. And then I bring it over into Video Leap, and then I edit it in. And even the other videos where it was like me with the green screen, that was edited using like a bit of like Final Cut or Adobe Premiere Pro. So if you're just looking to be able to get started, like, awesome, you've been tuned into this broadcast, and I hope it inspires you to check it out. But again, if you're looking for like more like the advanced techniques and everything like that, that's stuff that I'm going to be like posting specifically like within like our Patreon group, within like our TikTok creators group, within the team chat. So with that said, I'm going to bring on Spencer in the next moment, and just before I do that, I'm just going to show you a couple of Spencer's videos. And I literally just found Spencer, I think it was literally just like 3 days ago, not even. And I'll just show a couple videos just to create some context. One of the videos that I found was, again, kind of like a video referencing the movie Waking Life. So who here has seen the movie Waking Life and is like loves that as a favorite movie? And what's interesting is that it's like a small little synchronicity, because like Spencer, one of our mutual friends, is actually like Alyssa, if she happens to be listening to this, Alyssa, I always pronounce it wrong, Alyssa, who is like friends with a family that I met when in California while filming Journey to Lucidity. And so like she's like been following my content, and so it's like this crazy synchronicity. So again, it just kind of shows you that, you know, like the universe is like interconnecting us through technology. So I'm just going to show you real quick for those of you like on YouTube, you can see on screen Spencer's profile there. It's S Spacey with an extra Y on the end. And I'm just going to show you a couple of their videos. Then we're going to bring Spencer on to talk for a bit, and then we're going to wrap up the broadcast shortly after that. So if you guys have been enjoying this broadcast, please just drop those 1111s. If this has like been like helpful for you, then yeah, please feel free to let me know, and I'd be happy to just kind of again like help more people kind of get started on here. So here's a quick video from Spencer. 1 second, let me just restart that. I have to pull up the audio here real quick. Spencer, I'm showing them the one of the Waking Life. So okay, here we go.
The trick is to combine your waking rational abilities with the infinite possibilities of your dreams. Because if you can do that, you can do anything.
So again, cute little video there, and again, that's like using audio from the movie Waking Life, and also Spencer is using a special filter there. That filter is the Clone Squad, so you can literally see it on screen. If you were to click that, you can see like where other people have used that as well. And then I guess and I think the audio obviously was added in a little bit later. Spencer just got a couple other videos here. I'm just gonna kind of show like even again, you know, just kind of like one just kind of like sharing a little bit of their story. Again, this is where again like TikTok can become like a really cool place to just kind of like share who you are, share your story. Again, it doesn't always have to be like this like idea where it's like every single video is about like, you know, like blowing someone's mind and everything like that. It's just kind of like a really cool way to just kind of like practice expressing your art, and I think like Spencer does a great job of that, while also again continuing to kind of like plant some inspirational seeds to be able to inspire people as well. So cool. All right. Okay. So I'm going to bring Spencer on here, and let me just have to click a couple buttons in the audio setup, and I'm just going to do that real quick. And again, thank you so much everyone for joining in, and give me 2 seconds here as I just have to switch things up. Cool. All right. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to bring Spencer up and on camera in the next second. And so Spencer, go ahead. I'm just gonna unmute you real quick. And so sweet, we can hear you now. All right, so Spencer, thank you so much for joining us, dude. Really appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making it on the broadcast. So I'll just pass the talking stick over to you, so you can just tell us a little bit about, you know, like what has your experience been, you know, creating conscious content on TikTok, and kind of like where what you hope to kind of accomplish, where you kind of like want to continue to take your content. And like me, you've only been on it for like barely a month, I think. So go ahead, passing it over to you, dude, to help inspire other people to get started on it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me here. Funny enough, I actually found out about TikTok through Gary Vee as well. And it kind of motivated me to check it out, because at first I definitely was dissuaded to hop on because of the amount of younger crowds on it, like the teenagers. But lately I realized it's actually a really good platform to connect with anyone, especially for creatives, because the whole point of it is to create content. But myself, I'm a musician and a journalist, and I'm actually here alongside my friend Danny, who both of us together created our own media outlet called Clear Vision Collective. And the whole point of our media outlet was to kind of be this platform to help other free thinkers or people who realize that by acting on your thoughts, you can kind of create your own reality. And artists seem to be the people that do that the most often. So TikTok's kind of like what we wanted to do with Clear Vision Collective, but to the biggest audience there is, really, this worldwide audience. But at first I just started using TikTok as a way to share my music and art, but then I started seeing this huge spiritual community on there, and I never really got to share my spiritual views with the people around me other than putting some knowledge into my music. So the people who are close to me definitely can see those metaphors and understand that, but a lot of my friends in classes or just like passerbys don't understand that there's this other side of me that I want to share to people and help people. But it's been interesting seeing, because I honestly didn't know that I was going to attract an audience to my page until about 2 or 3 days ago. It was Bicycle Day. It was 2 days before Bicycle Day. I posted a video. We have a lot blotter art, and it actually attracted a lot of people to our page. So it showed me that there's this huge like psychedelic culture on TikTok, as well as this spiritual community. So a lot of the youth, like people in high school still or in college, want to experiment with psychedelics or with this new age way of thinking, this shift that we're going through. Um, yeah, it kind of just opened my eyes because Clear Vision Collective, other than just being a journalistic outlet where we interview bands or artists, we're also a label. So we make our own cassette tapes and have used SoundCloud to connect with this wide web of other artists all across the world. And through that, we've been able to actually like go to other states and cover festivals, and just like all these synchronicities happen to where we meet the right person at the right time, so we can capture these stories of other artists who are using this esoteric knowledge in their songs or in their art, and those stories kind of inspire us, and we want to share that inspiration with other people.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, man. Like it's been a real pleasant surprise again, just to be able to see like so many people who are interested in, again, a lot of these like spiritual concepts. And again, like I know there's some other creators out there, and like they're doing lives, like Anatoly, one of them, and like he's been doing lives regularly, and there's like 300 400 people tuned in, and he's basically just like talking about like his experience, you know, like with psychedelics, but even just like, again, consciousness and metaphysics. So I think there's definitely, again, you know, there's a lot of people out there who may be brand new to this stuff, and obviously we're still learning. Each and every single one of us is learning. We're still students, we're still teachers, but just to be able to create a space to be able to just have conversation, and to be able to show that, you know, like this is something that we're advocating the ongoing dialogue about, and just be able to like get our ideas out there. I think that in itself is just really, really powerful, because I think when we kind of like show up as our authentic self, and I say our authentic self is like me being aware that I'm, you know, a spiritual being, and etc etc, and these are the things I'm interested in, it gives other people permission to be able to be that themselves, you know, for other people to be like, oh well, maybe I'm going to start exploring my spirituality. So again, like right now, opposed to, you know, even 3 months ago, or opposed to even 6 months from now, this is a very powerful time to utilize TikTok, because again, like so many of us are at home, we're not at work right now, so we have this additional time to be able to focus our creative attention towards this. And there's so many people who are like on TikTok ready to be able to receive this information. So I think it's incredibly powerful, man. So yeah, dude, what do you feel would be kind of like what you would like continue, what you would like to continue creating on TikTok? And I know like me and you will keep chatting kind of beyond this, because even just like ideas for like collaboration and everything is there too as well. But yeah, again, just kind of like off the top of your head, like what type of things would you kind of want to keep creating, or anything else you want to share?
Yeah, for sure. I think I want to just keep creating content that almost is like a video blog in a sense, to where I don't put on this persona or like ego of a professional. And that's like one of the coolest things I learned in college, is that this idea of like boundary zones that are put up by society and people. And once you're able to break down those boundaries, you can see each other at an even plane. And that was honestly one of the coolest tidbits of information I got from an interview with this punk band called Surfboard. They're just like this interesting band that's a punk band, but they're sponsored by Gucci, so they're in this like high art level as well. So you'd think that those two things would not see eye to eye, but the music breaks down that boundary, and they're able to appreciate each other. And I think on TikTok, as opposed to Facebook or other social media platforms like Twitter or Instagram, like myself, I first got into spiritual knowledge on Instagram, but I found it kind of hard to actually relate to a lot of the posts because I wasn't seeing a person face to face. And on TikTok, it kind of breaks that barrier, that fourth wall, to where you can just like see each other as people more so than just this like username.
Yeah, I agree, and you're right. I think that actually is like one of the reasons why TikTok is such a impactful platform, because it's not common for entire accounts to not have someone on camera, to not have a face to it. There are some that I would actually recommend. One of them being like one called like Conscious Rift. Conscious Rift just does like a really cool job of just kind of like doing these like cool edits. I'm just pulling it up on camera right now so that people can see it even without audio. You'll still be able to get a sense for it. And it's just kind of like video edits. Usually even just like using like audio from like Alan Watts lectures and Terrence McKenna lectures and things like that. And again, they're kind of like repurposing things. So again, like there's multiple reasons why I think TikTok is just so exciting. But you're right. I think having that face in front of the camera is so valuable, because I agree. When I was on Instagram, I was seeing like some of the most popular accounts on Instagram were like just repurposing memes in a lot of ways and stuff. And I'm like, who is this? Like, who is this? Like, I would love to know who this is, type thing. And you never find out and everything like that. And it's just because, it's like they've kind of figured out a format that works. And then suddenly on Instagram, if they were to have like a page with like 50,000 followers and then they start putting their face on it, people would be like, oh, this isn't what I signed up for. Like, I don't like this. And then they kind of get turned away from it. Whereas like with here, when you're engaging on TikTok, it's like you're looking for that human connection. And so that's where I think like with TikTok, what makes it really cool is that, again, it's kind of like opening up this opportunity for us to kind of be able to like realize how connected we are beyond physical distance, for us to be able to like emotionally feel the presence of someone simply through a screen. And obviously a lot of people, it's like now it's like, oh, like, yeah, Zoom calls are the thing, and so this is a way for us to kind of like nurture and how to like meaningful connection, and how do we create meaningful connection. And that's where, again, for people looking for ideas like similar to stuff I've done, like I would encourage people to literally just try making a video where it's just like literally them just like making eye contact with the camera and then like calmly breathing, and then maybe add like a little bit of text and just like something inspirational or something heartfelt. I guarantee you someone will see that and just be like, whoa, like that actually like meant something to me, that like really like kind of like connected to me on a deeper level. So I think, again, like with TikTok, like we are still just like in the early stages of what is possible within this app in terms of creating conscious content. And it's really exciting just to begin playing with it and just begin, again, like just like seeing what is being created, and just like how popular and how much success there is for the people out there who are kind of like in the like just taking those first steps. So again, as we kind of get closer to wrapping up the broadcast, what thoughts, or just kind of like what words of advice or inspiration would you have for the people out there who might be thinking about getting more involved on TikTok? And the one thing I will say, for anybody out there, before you even get really involved as a creator, feel free to just jump on there and just be an observer. Like just look around, do what I said, look up the hashtags, hashtag spiritual awakening, hashtag light workers. There's lots of them, and just start kind of seeing what's on there, and then start looking at it and being like, whoa, like that's actually not that complicated. And it kind of demystifies the fear where it's like, oh, like I don't want to be on camera. The idea of creating a YouTube channel seems like very daunting, but the idea of creating like a TikTok video, when you see so many other people doing it, and some of it's more complex, some of it's quite simple, it really just helps us be like, whoa, like it helps us feel that invitation to know that I can do this too, and what I have to share is important, and what I have to share is something that is going to synchronistically kind of like make its way out there, and someone's going to find it, and then people are going to start connecting to it, and then things just kind of build from there. But yeah, passing over to you, man. Just kind of like, again, like words of inspiration for the people who are thinking about getting started on TikTok, and why we want them to join us on there.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the real power behind TikTok is that it's not about competition like other apps. It's actually really focused on collaboration. So you can see TikTok as more of a collective, to where all these hashtags connect all these people that are talking about spiritual things or whatever the topic is. It shows all these people are connecting. But it's kind of interesting to me. One of the things I learned in college was this idea of remediation, to where after this, we just like reuse media that's already been created and like add on to it. So like going back to that class, there's this idea, this author Marshall McLuhan talks about media as extension, like all media is just an extension of our senses. So if you think about like the camera, it's like an extension to your sight, or when writing was first created, it was an extension of your memory. So to that sense, I feel like the internet or sites like TikTok are just like us trying to exteriorize our sense of connection with each other. So we're like co-evolving alongside technology. It's this like techno-anthropological point of view. And I think it's going to be interesting because all of us are literally evolving alongside this app. And I think one of those evolutionary things is this idea of like bringing collaboration to the forefront rather than just competing against each other.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I appreciate the reference to Marshall McLuhan. That takes me back to my university days where they forced us to read that
Yeah,
the medium is
I
the
honestly
message.
didn't
But
realize
you're right.
what that meant till right now.
True enough, right? But yeah, you're right. Like again, like we have to think that like this technology is us, is consciousness, is an extension of us. So it's really exciting to be able to see, you know, when you enter into TikTok, it's almost like entering into this collective hive mind. In the same way, all of the internet has been that, you know, like literally like the internet is literally the fifth dimension if you think about it in that sense. It's like a physical incarnation of the fifth dimension. It's kind of like the Akashic records in a physical form digitally, where you can like go anywhere, access anything. And so again, the TikTok is just kind of like one realm of this kind of like higher dimensional reality in a 3D form. And so again, when we go in there, it allows us to just kind of like literally just like see things so fast and download things so fast. And again, how you use TikTok is ultimately going to determine your experience. So I think once you start getting on it, and once you start kind of like looking for those specific hashtags, the TikTok algorithm will start to know what it is that you're looking for. And then it will start delivering things. And then the synchronicities will occur. And then you'll start finding new people. And this is where it starts to like really get exciting. Where again, you know, each and every single day, like as we continue to create our own content, like you said, this is a chance for us to collaborate. And that's something that I'm incredibly passionate about. So as I'm synchronistically coming across other creators, like I am not hesitant to just be able to like send them a message, like follow them on Instagram, and then just comment on their Instagram and be like, hey, I followed you on I found you through TikTok, and I really appreciate what you're doing. And then from there, just kind of like keep an eye on things. And there are so like, it's really inspiring just to know that there are so many of us out there who are creating intentional, conscious, meaningful content right now. Because again, as someone who has been involved with this for several years, like I was back in the day, you know, like 8 years ago, it was just a handful of us. But now there's more than I can count. There's more than I can keep track of. And again, this reflects kind of like this echo of what the soul is yearning for. And that's where, again, you know, I feel TikTok is a great way for us to be able to focus our creative energy and our purpose. You know, this desire of wanting to be like, oh, like I really want to be able to make a difference in this world. I really want to be able to inspire people. And again, and that's where prior to this, using just Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube could be very kind of like deteriorating for the heart. And I've seen this story time and time again where, you know, like little Joey would create like a cool video on YouTube, and he would put his heart and soul into it, and he would post it up on YouTube, and then like he might get 10 views, and then that's it. And then he'd post another one, and then it might get like 12 views, but he would never just kind of reach this threshold. And then eventually he's just like, this isn't worth my time. And then he just kind of, and then little Joey just kind of like feels like it's not worth his effort, and then he just kind of moves on. I've seen that happen, and it breaks my heart. And so now to know that there's actually a platform where it's like, yo, little Joey, like put your heart into this, keep consistent with this, and like the right people will find it, and we'll be happy to boost you as a team and everything like that. Like this is a place where, again, it really levels out the playing field for all of us to be able to put in the work and to be able to get out of it. You know, again, you get out of it what you put into it, and you never, and that's kind of the thing with TikTok. You don't know, like there might be a nice surprise where you create a little video and somehow it just kind of like catches a wave and goes really viral. Like sometimes that just kind of happens, you know, like I've seen that. Like some people, they've been creating videos and they'll like make all sorts of ones, and then suddenly one just goes viral, and suddenly they've got an audience of 20,000 people, and it's like, whoa, like what do you want to say then? What do you want to be able to put out there now? So now, as this mass awakening is unfolding, this is a powerful opportunity for us to be able to utilize this time efficiently and effectively to be able to get very intentional messages to the people. And again, these messages can be ones of like self-reflection, self-empowerment, encouraging them to meditate, encouraging them to go out in nature, the simple things that are making the big difference. And as more and more of this are just kind of living this through our own example, again, more and more people are just, especially now that they're not distracted by school and work, are going to be like, yo, like I want to be a part of this. I want to be able to experience this as well. I don't want to just listen. I want to be able to like have my own kind of like spiritual awakening. So regardless of what's kind of like happening in every part of the world, and, you know, and all the chaos and everything like that, now is a powerful opportunity where a lot of people are looking. And so it's up to us as community members to be able to go back to that simple question of what is needed right now. And when we ask that question, we listen to our heart, that will help guide us. So again, for those of us who are getting into the process of starting to create content on TikTok, ask that question. What is needed within the community right now? And that will be kind of a way to kind of help give you some ideas for content. And again, also just do the content that you're most excited about. Like, that's the thing with TikTok, is that there's going to be some content and you're going to strategically create and be like, yeah, this one's going to go viral. But then there's other content where it's just like, I just want to make this because I'm excited to make it. And if it goes viral, great. But if it doesn't, I still get the reward of simply putting it out there, and whoever sees it that's super, like, it's worthwhile in itself. So again, every video you make is literally practice for the next one. So you're literally investing in yourself and leveling up as a conscious creator as well. So on screen right now, I literally just kind of like have again the hashtag spiritual awakening, and as you literally scroll through this, it's this endless stream of conscious creators. And I'm actually like quite proud to see that like some of my videos are literally within like the top 30 of the spiritual awakening hashtag, which again just goes to show you that like this spiritual niche within Instagram is still quite small, yet still big in itself. So if you want to get involved with it, like, now is the time, because again, like, you create content and the TikTok will like help you out by helping deliver your content to the right people who are going to find it at the right time. And the other thing that I will say before we get close to the end of this broadcast, and again, obviously there's a lot more stuff that we didn't cover here, just related to like more of the technical stuff in terms of creating a video. But again, I encourage you to just play with the app, look at other videos, learn from them. For those of you who are here, who are tuned into this broadcast, and if you are starting to create on TikTok, we have a shared hashtag that we are going to be using for those of us kind of in like our Paradigm Shift Central collective team. And the hashtag is hashtag PSC team. So PSC, Paradigm Shift Central, hashtag team, PSC team. So if you literally want to apply that to some of your posts, that will be a really cool way for us to be able to help see what is happening, like in terms of what content we are creating as a team. And it will be something that will grow over time. So literally right now, as I pull up the hashtag PSC team on screen, you can see it's just my videos right now, but I'm inviting other people who are involved on TikTok, specifically those of you who are involved in like our Patreon within our creators group, to use that hashtag. And I'm going to put that hashtag at like the top as the first hashtag in the majority of my posts. And then people who see my post, they might see that hashtag and just be like, oh, what is that? And on the off chance, they might click it, and then it links them into our content as a team. And again, it's just a really cool way for us to just kind of like collectively like build this archive of content. So, flash forward a month from now, and I can run a search on this hashtag, and I'll scroll through it, and I'll be like, whoa, like, this is awesome. This is like us. This is us creating as a team. So again, there's a lot of individual creators on TikTok who are putting out conscious content, spiritual content, but I think we'll probably be the first in terms of kind of like functioning as a collective of creators, showing up, intentionally creating conscious content on TikTok. And I'll be putting out some like mentions about it, like in future videos. I'll be like, hey, like, be sure to check out this hashtag. And so again, what's a beautiful thing about this, and this has kind of been my intention with other tactics and everything, is that like, as I grow my audience, like, I'm helping grow our audience. So if I can kind of become like, what happens when I start having like 1 million followers, and then I'm like, sweet, like, be sure to check out so-and-so's content. And then it kind of continues to like ripple forward from that. And again, even with me, a big reason behind me just kind of like creating content on TikTok is to be able to directly invite people back to things like our live meditations. So as we go live, I've got like 33,000 people follow me on TikTok. And out of those, I'm like, every single person here, you're invited to join in for our team meditation. And again, you're invited to be a part of like this ongoing story that we are creating, this assembling of a team, this awakening of consciousness, this ongoing inspiration that we are sharing together. So it's super, 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 super powerful just to be able to think about what it is that we are building here as a team. And again, for everybody here, PSC team, for those of you creating on TikTok. And if you if you are creating on TikTok and you want to be further involved, be sure to message me. We have that space within our team chat. You can join the team chat even if you aren't on Patreon yet, just be able to get your foot in the door. And again, if you want to join on Patreon, go ahead and do that. And even if you just want to send me a message and get involved that way, please feel free to do that. And yeah, we'll be doing some more broadcasts in the future just with other conscious creators, whether it be specifically to TikTok or otherwise. But I'm super excited just to be able to help encourage and support people in creating this content together and just seeing what we can do, knowing the difference that we can make as a team. So Spencer, we're going to get close to wrapping this up, dude, but I just want to be able to pass it back to you. Any other sort of like closing thoughts out there for the people tuned into this, gratitude you want to express, please, by all means, man, go ahead, and thank you again.
Yeah, I'm just grateful to share my points of view, and I think that this app's gonna help everyone just see each other to an equal plane. And I'm really happy to see like how you're gonna make this collective work on TikTok. It's gonna be really profound. So thanks for letting us be a part of it, and I'm excited to see where it's gonna go.
Awesome. Well, thank you as well, man, and thank you to your friend as well. Thank you for the work that you guys are doing. Did your friend want to say anything as well? If you want, more than welcome to.
Yeah, thanks again for being able to just spread like conscious creativity beyond like just the means of Instagram. You know, Hannah was saying earlier that other platforms kind of share this like saturation, and on a level, it's really profound to already see people on on TikTok taking measures to help people grow.
Awesome, sweet man. Well, with that said, again, just huge thank you to everyone for being a part of this broadcast. Again, we're going to wrap it up here, but obviously the story does not end. Again, I'm excited to just be able to kind of like kick things off from here and just kind of launch it. And I'm going to keep creating content. And again, just helping other people with the creation of their content. Again, for those of you looking for like more of like the technical stuff, again, that's going to be available for our Patreon supporters. And again, you'll be able to have access to me as like a conscious media creation coach. So there's going to be lots of opportunities just for us to be able to like hang out off air, work on things, share what we got in the pipeline, work on collaborations. So I'm really looking forward to that. So again, be sure to either just message me or send it or connect to the Patreon when you're ready to be able to join on there. And yeah, just kind of covering over the bases again before we wrap this up. Again, going back to the very beginning, why is TikTok different? The algorithm is different. It's going to help deliver your content to more people. It's not just going to push things into an archive where they never see it again. The niche is quite specific and small related to the spiritual community. So if you break into it now, it is going to help you kind of like begin to reach more of an exposure. The synchronicity within the app allows the right people to find your content at the right time. Really focusing on the why. Again, what is your why when you go into this? Yes, you want to be able to like possibly create a business out of this that can grow over time, and out of that ultimately comes out of the one-to-one relationships. So this platform, this opportunity is a great way for you to focus on building those relationships, and that is what you can do by providing valuable content and valuable service for the people tuned in. Again, simple things: choosing your name, a simple name, setting up your profile. Again, things I was talking about before in terms of utilizing hashtags, search for hashtags. If you're looking to once you've got your first few videos up, if you're looking to be able to like find other people to follow you, go to popular videos that people are creating. Again, people like Infinite Cupped or Adrift or Hannah Holiday, any of the people, even Spencer as well. And again, connect to them and like reply to comments on those posts. Because if there's like a post that gets like 200 comments, read the comments and then genuinely reply. Or even if it's just a reply, it could just be like a heart sign, and then just kind of like that post and add a reply. And then again, it creates that notification where someone's like, oh, that person did something on my profile, maybe I'll check it out. And again, that's where you kind of want like a name that's going to kind of stand out, and a profile picture that's going to stand out, maybe something within your name that kind of reflects the idea of what you're creating. So again, even with mine, Mystic Spider-Man, right away just by reading that, they're like, oh, this probably has something to do with mysticism and spirituality. So it's kind of a easy invite for them to be able to check it out. The best times to be able to post on TikTok, ideally the worst time is to do it when nobody's online. So after midnight. The best times you want to do it are probably kind of like maybe between like 10 to 12 in the morning, and then a little bit later in the day, probably between like 5 and 8 in the afternoon. But again, that's going to be relative to your time zone. But ultimately, it's a great chance just to be able to practice experimenting. And sometimes when I create posts, that's literally what it is. It's just kind of like, hey, let's put this out there, see how it works. And again, it's just kind of like getting into this flow of getting into the process of creating, and try to create content as regularly as you can, a couple posts a day, but don't sweat it. Even backlog content if you want. The other thing is, again, even just like creating like even jotting down ideas as you get them, and then creating like a list of videos that you want to be able to make in the future as well. And and then even making videos ahead of time so you can kind of like post them in a bit of a routine and a schedule. That's always super helpful. Making sure that you're replying to people's comments. That's like TikTok will actually like it will give your account more prestige if it sees that you're if you're interacting with people's comments. So make sure that people commenting on your posts, you're engaging with it there. Utilize the lives when you have them. Look to other sources within TikTok for inspiration. Watch other TikTok creators. And again, it could be literally a TikTok that's like outside of the spiritual niche, but if they're doing some sort of trend and it gives you an idea, you can kind of think, oh, how can I take that same idea and put like a spiritual twist on it? So take a look at like what people are already doing. Take a look at what use the hashtags, like again, run a search on hashtags, use the hashtag spiritual awakening, light worker, follow those people, and then just kind of begin observing what it is that they're creating. Again, for additional, more advanced stuff, using the editing apps, Video Leap, Werble, Werble, Screen Record, iExplorer to be able to transfer files from your phone to your desktop. For Android, use the app InShot, InShot. I don't use Android, so I can't provide all the insight there, but I know that is one app that people recommend. And yeah, and then there's obviously like, you know, other than that, like even just YouTube, like other stuff, like getting started, you know, like tips for TikTok. Like there's a lot of other people sharing inspiration out there. And again, just inviting you to be able to connect to our team chat. The links for that in the YouTube info. You can literally just join our team chat even if you aren't on the Patreon, and then the Patreon members have exclusive access to the specific channels within our Patreon. And again, one of those channels is specific for TikTok creators as well, and that's where, again, when you have new TikTok content posted in there, we'll see it and then we'll boost it and comment and be able to support each other that way as we continue to grow. And so again, out of this broadcast, I really hope that just out of this, it invites more people who may be regular listeners to my content to just be able to join me in playing this. And that's honestly the way how I look at TikTok. I don't even look at TikTok as just like a social media platform. I almost look at it like a game. And I'm like, oh, sweet. Like other people play video games, I'm playing TikTok, in the sense of like, how do you play? By creating content and planting seeds and shifting paradigms. Like that's how you play the game. And then you get points by reaching people and building relationships. And again, just kind of like making those really cool, meaningful differences in people's lives. So inviting more people to be able to play this game. So if this inspired you, make sure that you send me a direct message on Instagram or even just on any of my other platforms, even in our team chat. Let me know your TikTok profile so that I can follow you, so that I can check it out, so that I can comment on your posts, and so that we can support each other ongoing. So yeah, I really appreciate everybody being here and for just adding their support. I'm looking forward to being able to see what we can do as a team on TikTok. Again, use that hashtag PSC team, PSC standing for Paradigm Shift Central. And beyond this topic, again, feel free to just check out past broadcasts that we got through ParadigmShiftCentral.com. Subscribe to Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes. Tune in for more broadcasts Thursdays at 8 p.m. Next Thursday, stay tuned for it. It might be Dream Class again, which is again going to be our discussion about like dreams and metaphysics and lucid dreaming and all that stuff. So that's going to be exciting for leading members. And again, be sure to follow me on my social media accounts, Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram, Mystic Spider-Man on TikTok. Make sure you're subscribed to this on YouTube. Click that bell notification, like this video, etc., etc. And for those of you on Facebook, be sure to follow the links as well. And yeah, so before you wrap it off, Spencer, any last words? I know we already kind of had a closing thing. Just
yeah,
thank you to everyone.
Take care.
Awesome, sweet. All right, so with that said, we are going to conclude this broadcast. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Patreon supporters. Thank you for your support. Everyone in all forms is all equally appreciated. If you have any further questions about TikTok or just send me a link for your profile, please feel free to do that. And it is my honor. Like this is my passion. This is my heart song. Just to be able to help us again continue to level up and continue to create this impact as a team and continue to utilize the magic of media to be able to help assist and accelerate the shift in consciousness. So we're doing it one day at a time, one post at a time. So again, for everybody here, thank you so much. Finishing off with a wolf howl. As always, keep it shifty. Much love, and I will see you in the future. Until next time, everyone. Thank you again. special thank you to Danny Leonardo, whose music is featured at the beginning and end of this broadcast. Be sure to check out more of Danny's work in the YouTube info below. Thank you, Danny.